Hello and welcome to the Slow Ready Podcast, a casual drive into the music and culture of Goose. I'm Mike.
And I'm Alex.
And I'm Jess.
And we have Jess. I was just about to say, on today's episode, we have an awesome guest. We have Jess from the Femme with us to discuss the last weekend of Goose's Everything Must Go tour, including their first ever headlining and sold out show at MSG. But first, as always, the best way to keep up with us is on our socials at Slow Ready Pod. We are just about everywhere you can be. You can find us. You can also email us, slowreadypod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. And we are going to get into this amazing recap shortly. Both of you were in attendance, fortunately. But first, we'd like to get into the news and notes from this week with Goose in our first segment, Hot Tea. And so, elephant in the room, the biggest news of the week is that Viva El Gonzo 2026 is announced. It's a go. And the alumni presale concluded at the time of recording. We're on to general on sale now. May 7th and 9th, San Jose del Cabo, same place. Artists to be announced. Are either of you going?
Hell yeah.
Duh. Can't miss it.
Amazing.
No, honestly, it was so well run last year. I can't imagine missing this ever. Although, for anyone listening, it sucked. Don't come.
We try to be inclusive here, Jess, but I understand the sentiment.
Yeah, it was too good. Don't change it. Sorry. No, it was great. Everyone should go. Yeah, I had a blast last year. I can't imagine missing that next year.
It was like a dagger to our hearts watching it from home, seeing everybody have so much fun. But like, it was just a tough weekend this year, and we were just like, we can't miss it in 2026.
Yeah, it's super unfortunate that it's during Mother's Day. That's definitely a big deterrent for a lot of people. But bring your moms, bring your wives. If they don't like Goose, let them sit at. There's so many cool hotels and Airbnbs and the beach. It was really magical. It was a special weekend. I'm excited to see the lineup.
Mike, are you going? Putting the pressure on you.
I am doing everything I can to scramble and try and go, but unfortunately, I put my house on the market at a weird time, so we're just going to see how that plays out. But yeah, if the powers that be allow it, I'm planning on it. Definitely seems can't miss from everything.
Last year, I only booked it like a month in advance, and it worked out really well. So I know there's a lot of pressure for people to like buy it right now, but it was so easy just to last minute send it, believe it or not.
Wow.
So yeah. And I did it on a budget.
Music to my ears. There's hope either way.
So, there's definitely hope.
I love it. And the other major news from this week is that Cotter and Trevor are going to be playing the Heart of the Town 3-night concert series taking place in San Francisco from July 31st to August 2nd. Obviously celebrating the Grateful Dead's 60th anniversary, hosted by Graham Lesh and friends at Pier 48 near Oracle Park. Either of you planning on going to that?
No, although it does seem really cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty pricey weekend.
Yeah, that's not for me.
Okay. Insanely pricey.
Yeah.
Don't envy those fans right now.
Not at all. But other than that, there was not too many other major news and notes. So we have so much to cover this week. So we're going to get right into it at our flow down with the show recaps. And actually, before we get into the final weekend of tour, Goose also did a private show at Racket in New York. And Jess, you were fortunate enough to be there. So you want to give the people the 411 on what that show was like and what it was like seeing Goose in a small, private, intimate environment?
Yeah. It was kind of crazy. Where do we begin? I am lucky enough to have been able to go to Racket. I brought one of my Goose girlies, and we were actually some of the first people in the doors because it wasn't your typical show. So there weren't 500 fans waiting outside for 3 hours before. It was a lot of the donors of the radio station that they partnered with to go. So an older crowd, an affluent crowd was kind of the vibe. Most of them felt like newbies. I actually got to speak to a bunch of them. A lot of them, it was their first show, but the radio station has been playing Goose for a while. And so they did this partnership to promote the new album. So we were pretty much first in the door. And I've been to Racket before. I saw Karina Reichman there last year. So I knew exactly where I wanted to be. Very small venue. There's a balcony up on the top that I didn't want to ride rail. It was not that kind of a show, although I probably could have. But I wanted to be dead center on the balcony above, kind of looking down on the band. I also did record it for anyone who wasn't there. So if you did get to hear it, that was me. So I wanted to make sure it was in a spot that you could record it from. And it was super cool. You're not your typical Goose show at all because there wasn't jamming. It really was an album release show. So they pretty much played everything off the album. They missed a couple of songs, but it was really an Everything Must Go set, plus a Hot Love and a Hunger Sight, some big crowd pleasers, the hits. I would say no notable jamming, but the crowd was hyped to be there. I got to chat with a bunch of really cool people who were really excited that it was their first show. The band crushed it. I would say really minimal lights too. It was a very low-key setup. But I've been following Goose since early 2021, and I have not seen them in a room of 600 in a very, very long time. So to go from that and then to MSG, their biggest headlining show in the same week, was really special. I feel very lucky to have had that experience that week.
That's quite the dichotomy there. 600 to their biggest show of all time, like you said. That's insane.
Yeah. It's been a long road for the band and us fans.
And you mentioned the Mixler stream. That was awesome that you did that for everybody. Shout out to you, Jess. And you got some pretty good sound, like you said. You knew exactly the spot to be at, so we really appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome. There was definitely some off-leash commentary in there, but I don't think it would be me without that. So I had fun.
So real quick, explain to the listeners who aren't as familiar with you as we are about the off-leash, on-leash commentary.
Well, to do that, we must talk about the Femme flock, which was mentioned, but I and a bunch of my friends run something called the Femme flock, which is a jam band community collective and podcast to uplift and amplify women and underrepresented voices in the jam scene. When I found the jam scene, I realized that there weren't that many little girls wearing glitter and dancing as I wanted. And there was a lot of, no offense to you guys, a lot of straight white men talking about the music. They had a lot of men with platforms and not enough little girls with opinions talking about the community. And so we started this, and it's been about 1.5 years now. So check us out on the socials and wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you're listening to this. But we just like to mess around and have fun and wear glitter and dance at shows. And I guess that brings us to the leash. The leash was born actually out of Fish. We are a polyamorous collective, TM. But my friends went to Fish, and, friends don't let friends go far away from them. So they brought a leash, and the leash was born. And from there, we've had 4 iterations of the leash because we keep losing them. But we like to bring our leash with us places, and we like to leash people. Actually, Cotter and Rick got leashed at All Good Now. Coach got leashed at MSG. Alex, were you leashed? I'm not sure.
I have not been yet. I've been off leash too long, though.
So off leash is our way of saying unhinged. We are off leash. So, but usually when you're off leash, you're actually on the leash. It's a little confusing, but go with it.
Yeah, normally it's like the post is off leash, and then it's like someone's swinging the leash around. So it's like,
yeah, it's really just us having fun. So we're having an off leash summer, but don't worry, there'll be a new bit for fall. So the leash is not lasting forever. We will be having a funeral. Everyone will be invited to the funeral for the leash, is plural.
And what is the leash's name? The latest leash? People need to know.
I'm not allowed to say the latest leash's name on air, but the leash before that was Phil Leash.
Oh,
and the leash
I don't know about the new leash.
There's a new leash. So we have Phil Leash. Before that, we had Alicia. She got lost in at Fiddler's. Before that, in Cabo, we had Felicia. She's somewhere in Cabo still. It's just a bit. We love a bit.
It's a good bit.
It's a great time.
We like to have fun here at the Femme Flock. Not just me, all of us.
All right. Well, yeah, we just had to get that out of the way with the off-leash comment. Just
Sorry, there's going to be a bunch of that, so apologies in advance.
No apologies necessary.
All right, what's next?
Let's get back on track. Sorry, we went off leash there.
We were off leash. Let's get back on leash.
Alex, did you want to get into the set list on the private show at all, or do you just want to move on to Guilford here?
Yeah, let's read it off real quick. Why not? Let's see. Open with Animal, then got A Hot Love and Lazy Poet, as Jess said. Into Hunger Sight, then Silver Rising, Dustin Hoffman, Into Lead Up, Your Direction, Atlas Dogs, Iguana Song, Everything Must Go, and closed out the main set with Give It Time with an encore of Thatch. And to your point earlier, Jess, I don't remember much improv. I feel like Hoffman and Iguana got like a little bit of a run, but nothing like we've seen at any of their normal show appearances. But still a really cool set.
This was not your typical Goose show. This was a show for a radio station. I'm pretty sure they recorded it for the radio station. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I heard that. But yeah, it was not your typical show.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the private show I went to last year in the fall, where it was like all kind of shorter songs, but like you're just kind of like really gassed up on seeing Goose in that tiny of a room. Like I don't think Getty was at the private show I went to in October either, but it was just like the cool aspect of it was you're like they're right there. There's barely a stage.
Yeah. He might have been there, but it wasn't their typical lights. It was just a couple
Stripped
of
down
rainbow spotlights, and yeah.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Well, let's get into the final weekend here because it was a hell of a final weekend. So first up on Friday, Goose was at the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion in Guilford, New Hampshire. So, Jess, it's tradition to have a guest read a set list. Do you want to read this off here for us?
I don't know if you want that. This is probably my least favorite set list I've ever seen.
Oh, goodness. Well, you can read it like just like monotone if you want to.
Yeah, we're full of hot takes. All right. Goose, Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion, Guilford, New Hampshire. Set one, we had Flow Down, Mark Safe from a Flopener at MSG. We had Silver Rising. We had California Magic, Draconian Meter Maid into Mr. Action, Please Forgive Me, and Rockdale. Set two, Into the Mist, into Fish in the Sea, Everything Must Go, Christmas Card from a Hooker in Minneapolis, and we encored with Empress.
Perfect reading. 10 out of 10.
Thank you.
Yeah, I didn't detect any judgment at all.
Exactly.
You know, yeah. How about you guys talk about it?
Well, feel free, Alex. But what do you think about set one here? Any highlights to get into?
So I got a few beats because, to Jess's point, it's a little bit weird of a show and a set when you look at it on paper, especially like going into what's going to be their biggest show of all time. There's a lot of songs on here that are like shorter and not of the improv variety that, you know, half of the fan base is just like, okay, it's cool, but I don't want to see this many of these in a row kind of thing. But Flow Down, Flopener, it's very polarizing. I'll say that. I like saying the word Flopener, but other than that, I kind of agree with you there that I wouldn't want it at MSG by any means. But it's a great way to get the energy ramped up early, and then you get kind of two more lack of improv, quote unquote, songs with Silver Rising and California Magic. Although it was kind of nice to see California Magic for the first time in a minute, and I kind of was a little bummed that they didn't save that one for MSG with the anticipated horns. Like, I love the horns on the studio cut. That's like my favorite song off the new album that's not Dustin Hoffman or Iguana Song.
That is such a hot take.
I love it.
You are entitled to that opinion.
Well, you don't like the studio album at all, right, Jess? So
that's not fair. I don't love it. There's a couple songs I really do like. I do find myself going back to Dustin Hoffman, Iguana. I like The Animal. Feel It Now is my favorite by far. We can talk about that when we get to MSG.
Yeah.
But, on the whole, I definitely think they might have butchered the studio album a little bit.
Well, we had D. James Goodwin on a few episodes ago, so I'll link y'all up so you can have a chat with him.
I'll tell him.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You can.
I mean, I can.
He gave me shit.
I'll explain why. I think studio albums are really important. I found Goose through a studio album. I was not a jam girl. This was my introduction to the jam scene, was finding Goose during COVID. And so I think studio albums are important for people like me who are normies, who are didn't grow up with this, who don't understand it. And it's how I've gotten my friends converted into coming to shows. It's how I show people what I'm obsessed with and why I spend all my time and money following this silly little bird band. Like, I think they're really important for growth of a fan base and for, yeah, people like me. And so this album, I thought part of it was overproduced. Sorry. And part of it was just like, I can't put this on to my friend group that aren't into jam and make them want to come to a show. And so I get it. Like, if the band is in love with it and it's their art and their music, they should be doing what they want. Rick, put out whatever art you want in the world. It's yours. But it didn't do justice of like what I need a studio album to do. But they're not making it for me. They're making it for them. So that's why that's my feelings on the studio album.
And totally fair. I just wanted to poke a little fun at you and also get you linked up with D. James.
Let's go. Let me help you on the next album. Sorry.
But Mike, I know you really love this Draconian Meter Maid. To get things back on the rails here a little bit, do you want to walk through this one with me? Because I have a few thoughts, but I know you are the Draconian geek here.
I do love a good Draconian, but I mean, I'm with y'all. I think the first set's particularly a bit lacking for me. There's really only two highlights. It's the Draconian and the Rockdale. The Draconian just continues to be an absolutely consistent force for good in this world, slapping another great 14-minute version, kind of funky in the first section. Trev is so creative on it. Like, he really just stands out on every Draconian. Peter has this cool bouncy repeating pattern, and Rick has all these kinds of creative runs. It gets to a peak that kind of reminded me of the Arcadia from Nashville last year. Similar vein anyways, okay. Maybe like cousins, but it always does something different, and I'm here for it. It's a fun song.
Watching the feed, since we were all watching from home, that early Trevor run that you're talking about, watching like the head bobs in the crowd in unison during it, like made me very happy. It was like a slow kind of groove, and it was just really infectious looking in the crowd. So yeah, it was a great different vibe from like the really blissy, uplifting ones we've heard a lot lately.
100%. Did you have any other highlights from set one before I get into this Rockdale real quickly?
Just real quick, I guess Mr. Action did feel like it had a little sauce on it, just feeling that Draconian, but it always feels like it has a little bit of sauce on it lately, I feel like. So it seems like they've been given songs like SOS, Dawn, like a little more runway, and I'm surprised they haven't done that with this yet, because it's kind of similar to how SOS was before they started doing 18-minute jams on it.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Action and I think Silver Rising are like two of Rick's best soloing, like pretty much consistently. So I agree with you there. And then I will also say the Cali Magic, I was expecting that at MSG because I was kind of feeling that there would be horns at MSG. And so I thought that was a shoe-in. But yeah, not the most shocking thing that happened in this set, but we'll get into that. But yeah, to your point, for me, this set really works from the Rockdale on. I think the Rockdale is magnificent. It's the best one maybe since Minnesota last year. Like, I had to go that far back to find one that I thought was as good as this Rockdale, but it's just, it builds into this driving bliss space with like touches of psychedelia, and like it's just beautiful melodic lines from Trevor and Rick, and it's some of my favorite Rick playing in recent memory. They just hit this roaring peak around the 18-minute mark, and it's like one of the most perfect endings to a set one that I've heard in a while.
You have a chance to listen to this one, Jess? Any thoughts?
No, I skipped. The only song in this show I listened to was Fish in the Sea. It's a favorite.
That's a good call, though, and we'll get into that in a little bit.
I have a lot to say about that.
When I saw set one, I just looked at the set list while they were playing. I was like, fantastic. Do not bring these to New York City.
Opinionated Jess on the pod today.
I love the
We're always opinionated. Always.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, Mike, you said Minnesota. I was going to say Best Since Westville, man. That like crazy dark one from last summer.
That was fun.
It was really, really good. Rockdale. Some of the best improv they had done in the summer up to this point, honestly.
Were either of you at that show?
Oh, I wish. No. I was at the Man just before it. Yeah. It wild ride at that Westville one, and this was a totally different tangent from that for sure. It was more dreamy and smooth, and there was a part of it. You kind of said everything I mostly wanted to touch on there, Mike, but there was a part of it that Rick's tone when they're ramping up from that really quiet Blisties section early on. It reminded me a lot of like the Mississippi half step tone from last summer in Atlanta, where you don't have like the gritty guitar in the background from Peter, but it's still like that same riffing from Rick. And I just was like, this is awesome. Like they're squeezing every last drop out of the ideas in this one and that tone.
Oh yeah. I was texting you like crazy driving to Atlanta listening to this, just going like, oh my God, this Rockdale is just absolutely insane. So beautiful.
And one last thing, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that like something happened with Rick's guitar at the end, and it was really, really fucking funny, where like he just kind of threw his hands up and he was like, I don't know what's going on, and let the rest of the band finish the song because like I don't know if like a string broke or the guitar needed an adjustment. Clearly, it just like was off, and he was
Rick
like,
was done.
I don't know. he was laughing, and they went off stage.
Amazing stuff. So then, getting into this set too, either of you have any highlights? Pretty good mist and Fish in the Sea here, like right off the bat.
I mean, you said the two highlights here. I think the big one is Fish in the Sea, which I cannot wait to get into. But real quick, just this felt like Cap missed light to open up the set, in my opinion. But anyway, what do you got, Mike?
No, yeah. It was a generally, I can keep it short there, generally up-tempo, like celebratory feel. I mean, so many mists are just like ice cream. Like it just always delivers. I mean, they're always cheerful and happy. I mean, occasionally it goes off that path, but I mean, it's kind of funky, but it feels like it's also like leaning into bliss. And it was just, yeah, really electric start to set one. But I really want to talk about this Fish in the Sea because, like, as of right now, I think it's like my jam of the year, like, legitimately.
Well, the cool part about the Fish in the Sea is that it was an epic jam, but they also worked the segue into it from the mist like flawlessly, and they were teasing "Wrong Why" by Sublime during that transition, which was like sweet. Like we had just seen Sublime with Rome like last year, and I was like trying to show Chloe that, and she couldn't give a shit because she's 13. But also, it was still cool to be able to like, oh, we saw that. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, Fish in the Sea. Let's get into it.
It's one of the best things I've heard from the band this year. It may be the best thing I've heard. It's, starts off in that typical dirgy, edgy industrial rock we're used to, but after a few movements, they like go into this discordant, scary space reminiscent of like past Modavons or most of February Winter Tour, to be honest. But they settle into this like ping-ponging 2-chord progression that just rages out, and they've got like some dark Latin flair from Rick and Peter's playing, and Trevor holds down the pocket, and then they round out with this really surprising, gorgeous Blissy outro, which came out of left field, it seemed like, but they transitioned into it like effortlessly. So it just had everything I want from a performance from them. It went to a bunch of different places, and they were communicating like super well. And Fish in the Sea always just slaps.
Well said. Well, how about you, Jess? Any thoughts on it?
I just love Fish in the Sea. It's one of my favorite covers ever. Honestly, the first time I heard the song, I thought it was a Goose song. I love it. I was kind of disappointed we weren't going to get it at MSG, but I knew that we weren't going to get it then. But it's a dance party, and that's all I really want at a Goose show is high energy and moving.
Yeah, and this is like the definition of it. And this is, I got to listen a few more times, but like I think this is pretty safe to say is one of the GOAT versions of this song, if not the GOAT at this point. It was by far the most unique jamming they've done on it, in my opinion. And that aggressive peak from like that floaty ethereal space is just wild. Like I thought Cotter was going to punch holes in his drum at one point.
Yes.
He was just drumming so freaking hard on the snare, especially, and just, yeah, crazy high peak, and then back into like that low, almost like contemplative space. Like it was like very like dreamy, ethereal, but also like thoughtful.
I can't say it's the best one ever because I was at the Taboo one where James Casey horns, and nothing compares to that.
That's the other one I was thinking of.
That will be my favorite ever. Yeah. That was a special moment.
Oh, definitely.
And then I'll just mention it again. I thought Everything Must Go was shocking that wasn't played at MSG, like on the EMG tour. I had that penciled in my predictions. And then when I saw that come up, I was just like, all right, throw everything I thought out the window. It is a really good Everything Must Go, though. I mean, I feel like this whole second set is just kind of a face melter. Like, this whole jam is speed based and just like filthy playing from Rick, and just amazed by Trevor and Cotter's chemistry during these like high speed car chases the band has been going on recently.
I thought this was going to be like the year of EMG, especially in February when they got real weird and like really fun. And it's kind of had like a quieter summer, I would say, but this was kind of more of like a return to form a little bit with having a few distinct sections and all of that. And you said the speedy jam, yeah, it was a speedy funk fest for a minute there, all the way to a full shred fest by the end. But yeah, nothing as crazy as we saw in the winter by any means, but pretty great.
Definitely. And then Christmas Card, pretty shocking, and whenever they choose to play it, but for me it's welcome in any set. I don't know if y'all have any thoughts on that. And then Empress as your encore can sometimes be disappointing, but this one they stretched out to 15 minutes and gave us some of the goons that's been so hot. So
I'm sorry, why is Empress ever disappointing to you?
well, because sometimes in the encore you get like a really short Empress, and I'm for Empress staying and having fun with Empress.
All right, fine. I love Empress. It's one of my favorites. It's also probably my most seen song. But that was the one thing I saw in the set list where I was like, crap, we're not getting one at MSG. An Empress encore at MSG would have just been like so special. But that's okay. I can't complain about the MSG show. But that was the one that I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
That one definitely, my wife was also really hoping for Empress at MSG, but you know, it was perfect. Don't get me wrong, but so good.
So good.
And I saw you make a face during Christmas Card, Jess.
I'm here to dance. I want to dance. I want high energy music. That's it. I'm going to make a lot of faces. It's fine.
No, we want your thoughts. You know, we want to get to know you better.
I don't know if you want that.
Okay.
Let's talk about the highlights. Let's keep going. The big one.
All right.
The big boy.
Let's get into the big one though, because like you guys were both at the Madison Square Garden. I was not. So Alex, do you want to read off the set list here? And then I'm just gonna let y'all talk about it because I want to hear from people that were in the building what this amazing concert that blew my mind from the couch was like in person.
June 28th, 2025 at MSG, biggest show Goose has ever played to this point. Open up with Factory Fiction, then A Hunger Site, My Mind Has Been Consumed by Media, A Western Sun, into Running Up That Hill, into Give It Time, Feel It Now, Dustin Hoffman, and Animal, all featuring Stuart Bogey, Dave Nelson, and Andrew McGovern on the horns. And then set 2 opens with a Thatch, then get a Redbird into Don't Leave Me This Way, get a Tumble into Creatures, into Shamalama Ding Dong, back into Tumble, and then close out the second set with a Jedstone into Dripfield with an encore of Arcadia, bringing the horns back out for the first time in 2.5 hours. So let's get into it. Where do we even start?
Wow.
Probably a beat by beat kind of show, right?
Where do you want to begin?
Oh, yeah, let's start with Factory Fiction then, I guess, right? First time ever opening a show. How did you feel in the moment you heard those opening notes, y'all?
Okay, to be honest, that was my third Factory this tour. Every time they played it, I was there. So I was a little like, not surprised, I guess maybe surprised just because they've been whipping it out a lot. But like it was also a really big just like fuck you everyone. Like coming out with big dick energy, like we're here, we're at MSG, we sold it out. We're going to do our it was for the fans. You could feel it was for the fans. So it was really special. Like you can't complain about a Factory Fiction. But I was definitely a little surprised just because like it's literally the third time I've seen it in the last month, which feels weird.
You saw all the appearances this year or this summer. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I didn't go to that many shows too, so it was just like weird.
That's insane.
Just go to the same shows as Jess. That's the low key advice. But you said it. it was for the fans, and you could feel the power in that room like immediately. I was joking early, even though I was kind of like living my introvert life at the meetup. I was like joking about the over under 4 or 5 minutes till I start crying at the show, and it took like 6 notes. Like you just like felt it, the power of it immediately, and how big the moment was, and them just crushing it. And I was like tearing up, and then the part where Rick sings "All the Freaks Want to Come at Night," and then like, the crowd pop, and then I was like, "Oh, like I'm a freak."
So special. Oh my god. Yeah, great way to kick off the show.
But then they've also been jamming it out now that it's not closing shows, and it's just another crazy good jam on Factory this year. It's just insane, slow, dark kind of build, but it hit this beautiful and fierce peak later on, and then kind of lent way to perfectly getting back into the closing of Factory Fiction. It was just an awesome ride.
Definitely. And then they don't really let off the gas because then you have Hunger Sight. So I have to imagine y'all are losing your minds by this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like, it's one of those things where after Factory Fictions opens, you're like, I wonder where they're going to take the show from here. I think they made the right call keeping their foot on the gas versus like kind of like cooling down and not starting off with like an up down kind of show.
Right. I mean, Hunger Sight's one of their bigger hits. Like, it's one of their most well-known songs. It felt like it was really when they were like getting their footing. They're like, okay, we came out, we crushed it. We just like fuck you to everyone. Now let's like settle in something we're very comfortable in playing, like get our footing. It's a big room. It felt very much like a back home moment where they were just like settling into their spot on stage.
And something about Arena Hunger Sites, like it started kind of with Goosemas last year, and this was just another one that was like a slow build, layer by layer, where I wish I took more pictures of the show, because there was one guy, a few rows in front of us, who by the end of it had his hands on his head, like what the hell is happening?
Thing at shows, whenever men don't know how to like channel their energies, so you look around during a big peak and every man has their hands on their head. It's so funny. Pay attention next time. It is every show.
It's just, yeah, it was great. I wish I got a picture of that guy. Shout out to you. If you know who you are because you saw us behind you, send us an email. I'll send you some stickers. But yeah, and it's all a function of Cotter joining the band. I want to say, like, he's just so masterful at leading the charge and perfectly finding a way to like accent the open spaces while also like taking this thing to a crescendo to the finish line slowly. I always call it the Cotter Shuffle. Like, people love or hate that, but it's the Cotter Shuffle, baby. And this is the perfect example of it, and a great way early in a set to kind of show off where the band's at.
Definitely. So
how was it from home, Mike?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with everything you said. It reminded me of Goosemas early, and then at the end, it kind of reminded me of the Echo from Charlotte last year, where they hit like that first chord twice and slide into the next two. I mean, at this point, when I first heard Factory, I felt like I could run through a brick wall because it was like the most unexpected thing they could do and the most shocking thing I've ever seen them do. But at the same time, it was also the most fitting thing and the only thing they could do. So for me, like, I can't imagine a more perfect start. And I'm like, I was by myself watching this, just like standing up in the living room, like clapping like I was there. So, I mean, it translated through the screen, I guess is what I would say. I think I was having almost as much fun as everyone there was, because it's just the coolest show that I've ever seen, I think.
We missed you, man. I must have said that to Sarah like 30 times at the show. It's like, I wish Mike was here.
I felt it.
But I'm sure she'd love to hear that.
Well, she said it too, so we love Mikey.
It's appreciated.
He's our concert hang.
Yeah. I get it. I need my showgirls. I have my little goose crew that I do every show with.
Everyone needs a goose crew or a goose flock.
I agree. That's why we started the Femme Flock.
Exactly.
I can confirm they're a great hang. If you ever meet the Femme Flock at a show, amazing hang. They make everybody feel welcome.
It's true. Anyone who needs a buddy at a show, especially girls who like want to enjoy and don't have a community, we take in stragglers. As long as you have good vibes and you want to dance and you're okay with the shenanigans, we'll take you in. Femme Flock is a state of mind.
Absolutely.
It's a vibe.
It really is.
So my mind has been consumed by media, right? That's a crazy way to continue the show on. It was totally unexpected to get something like that right after a big song like Hunger Site, but then it kind of hit me like, oh, they're being very mindful about this set list in the sense that they're trying to give everybody their shine, and this was Cotter's shine and like a representation of like how far he's come from Swimmer and playing this song at like a bar a year and a half ago to like playing it at MSG in front of the biggest crowd and having one of his songs showcased for the world to see.
So cool.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Is like it's really cool they let Cotter have a moment. I really like the new arrangement of it. I'm a recent convert to my mind has been consumed by media. It didn't hit right with me when the first couple of times I heard it, and the last couple of times I've been playing it, I'm like, I'm so here for it. It's so good, very like Talking Heads-esque, super fun. Yeah, vibes were so high on the floor.
I mean, to that point, Jess, like it's come a long way since that debut in September. It sounds so much better now.
It's so fun.
And I don't know, maybe I missed it in the last few versions they played, but Peter was doing like this cool, like feathery digital pulsing synth thing that was so loud in the room. I wish it was as loud on the recording. It was so cool in person, Mike. Like if you can hear it on the recording, it was just like making like your entire face rattle in the room. I gotta listen back to see if he's done it on other versions, but that was just awesome and must have been so surreal for Cotter.
Right? Yeah, that was really special. My face was rattling the whole time because I was dead center on the rail for MSG. So there was a lot. It was very loud, very rattling.
Oh,
well, did the goose mask protect you from the rattling a little bit, or is it just, you know?
The goose mask is very sweaty and covered in glitter. It did, however, allow me to move through the crowd really easily because people don't want to be near you when you're wearing a latex goose mask. So, hot tip.
I will keep that in mind.
If you are small and you like to move around, get yourself a mask.
I need a goose head.
Noted.
I'm pretty sure it's a duck mask, but that's fine.
That almost makes it better.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would have known.
It's not mine. I have to credit Mirinda. She has one that I borrowed in Cabo, and it inspired me to get my own. So we have matching duck goose.
Oh my gosh, there's two of them.
There's two of us. There is a video of both of us dancing together somewhere on the internet.
Okay, that's amazing.
You heard it here first. It's gonna be the promo for this episode. Is videos of Jess dancing.
Goose mask. I have so many to send you.
Goose
Don't
mask.
Anyway, after media.
Yeah, let's get back in. We're going off Felicia Live. This is really fun.
Yeah. So Western Sun. I mean, this was a really good version.
Yeah, they jammed it. It's one of the like OGs. It just felt like a really nice, like, for the fans who've been here a long time, slow it down a little bit, a powerful moment. It was beautiful. It's always beautiful, but this one was extra. So it was great.
I think I saw someone crying on the stream, and it was just like so beautiful to me. And I was just like, they're even this early on, I'm like, they are just acing this set list. Like everyone is gonna leave this show taking away from it what they needed to take away from it. Like they covered all the bases. It's just. But Alex, what did you think about the Western Sun?
Again, very mindful set listing in my opinion. This one almost felt like it was for the ones who couldn't be here for the show, like the ones who didn't make it along the way. Felt like a really powerful nod to like the fans that just couldn't be in the room for whatever reason. And this one was never going to cover as much ground as the crazy Wilmington jam or anything like that, but it's nice to see it continue to get a compact jam that covered a lot of ground. And yeah, perfect emotional beat after that energetic start and really, really cool transition into running up that hill.
This was my third running up that hill this tour. Running up that hill in Factory. I saw everyone.
Wow.
Yeah. I was also at the Running Up That Hill debut for Stranger Things Halloween last year, which was really cool. But I think I'm kind of hilled out at this point.
I'm tired of running up those hills.
Yeah, I don't run.
Walking up those hills?
I'll dance up that hill. Or down that hill. That sounds better.
Love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a cool transition in. definitely a song to please the masses. I think Rick's just been really liking playing it because it keeps popping back up.
Yeah, it seemed like one of those songs where ever since they debuted they've been like dying to play it in on a big stage, like arena vibe like this, and maybe that's the peak of it, and like we'll maybe see less of it. I don't know. It's definitely a fan favorite though. Like I think you're just like the luckiest / unluckiest where you get it every time you go to a show, Jess.
Yeah. My shows this run, I had some very interesting set lists. It was definitely like the Everything Must Go tour. There's a lot of things I've been craving to see that I didn't get this run. We can get into that at Westville.
Oh, we definitely will. Let's give it time though, and give it time here.
Let's give it time. What a special moment that was. That was a moment I had to just like stop moving and turn around. I would literally put my back to the band on the rail and just like watch the crowd, because what is it but 20,000 people singing your words back at you? It was, I had chills. It was so cool. Just to have that moment at MSG with everybody singing together.
Oh God, yeah, and the PAs were cranked up to like 200% mic in that room, and you could still hear the crowd singing over it. Like it was just like goosebump inducing. Very stark reminder of just how much this band has grown and blown up, and just incredible to see that like everybody in that room knew the lyrics and were belting it out with their arms up or with their arms around their friends, and just like it was just like all love in that moment. And yeah, I thought that was going to be the set closer because we were like a little over an hour in at that point. I was like, they've been closing with Give It Time. Like, that's got to be it. And then, no, just we'll play 3 more songs.
The next 3 songs were probably like my biggest highlight of the night. Are we going to talk about it?
Yes. I want to hear from both of you about it. I mean, they've all 3 get the horns to close out the set.
Yeah.
Feel It Now, Dustin Hoffman, and Animal. Let's get into it. What do you guys feel about this one?
We got Horny Goose. Horny Goose is my favorite goose. It was incredible. As I mentioned earlier, Feel It Now was my highlight off of the album with the horns. It's definitely my favorite Peter song. Just like musically really well done, but then I don't know, it's a vibe. You're like, I don't know, it reminds me of like surf rock, I guess, in a weird way, with the like 80s vibes. I don't know. I don't want to embarrass myself by saying the wrong thing.
No.
But it was just so cool to have the horns there for all 3. Just big dance party, so much fun. The horns crushed it. I think back to Radio City when they brought out the horns at those shows, and you could kind of tell the horns were a little lost in some of the songs of like when we got to the jamming, and they were kind of like, oh no, what do we do? But this time that didn't happen, and either more prep or I don't know what, just it's MSG. But the horns added so much. That was so cool to see all 3 of them. Big dance party.
Yeah, I mean that's well said. And say whatever you feel in your heart, Jess. Like who cares what the haters say?
No, I can't get canceled.
Okay, well, say whatever is not bigoted in your heart.
It's all love. It's just off leash.
Okay, that's fair. But getting back into Feel It Now. Oh my God,
Yeah.
This is so funny. This episode, I'm gonna be laughing way too much. You're gonna have to edit out like 30 minutes of laughing, Mike.
Don't do it.
I'm gonna leave
first
a lot
play
of
of Feel It
though.
Now. The first play since Bend, dude.
Really?
Since May.
Wow.
Was that May?
Crazy.
Yeah, it was like a month. And it's gonna be really hard to listen back to versions of this song that don't have the horns after experiencing like this.
I never will. This is the only version that exists moving forward.
This is the version. And we talked about it. We had D. James Goodwin on a few episodes ago. Check it out if you haven't. That's a great hang. And we're gonna link up Jess with him to talk shit.
Hell yeah.
He loves the back and forth, so he'd be here for it because he's the best hang ever. But he had mentioned on the episode that Stuart Bogey, he used his first take of this as the studio cut. Like it was like one take. That was the one that made the album, and he might need to get the soundboard audio of this solo because he can make like a B-side with this one because that was hot. Shout out to Stuart Bogey, man.
Seriously, shout out to Stuart. You crushed.
It's fucking sick.
Yeah. I have no complaints with this. This was just amazing. What an awesome moment to be there.
Oh my god, Mike, I got a message on our socials, like people were saying the horns weren't coming through great. Was that true at home? Because it seemed like it when I listened back, it was fine.
I didn't have any issues with the audio, and I thought it was so cool, like both of you did, that the Feel It Now outro was such a highlight of the album, and to hear it come to life was like truly special for me. But I also want to just briefly mention, like, this Animal was outstanding. I think it was kind of similar to the Blissey Jam from Milwaukee in February, only this time you get horns on it too. And I just felt like stunningly gorgeous, which I feel like is also a tremendous understatement. That's not fair at all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't even at Dustin Hoffman yet, let alone Animal, dude. This is fucking wild. Like, Dustin Hoffman, ever since we had gotten the studio cut of that, just backtracking real quick. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut your point off there, Mike, but I just wanted to sneak that in. Is that that sound was so unique with the horns on the studio album, and it didn't disappoint live. Like, I was curious if it would be a letdown or something like that, and it was just full New Orleans in the jam, but you also got like the full effect from the studio cut during the main verses and stuff like that. And then Animal, you said it, man. Like, it is a lot like that kind of Blissey vibe, and this was by far the best of the horn songs, in my opinion. Gorgeous slow build all the way down to a whisper, and then high energy ramp up by the end, and you couldn't help but like look out at the crowd and see just like the pure joy emanating from everyone in that sold out room. Just great stuff, man.
100%. So anything else on set 1 here, or do you want to move into set 2?
Maybe a little hot take time, but there's been a lot of comments lately about how the horn should be a permanent fixture, and I disagree.
No, wrong. Goose, if you're listening, please bring out the Dave Matthews Band horns at the Gorge this fall. That would be amazing. I would like to see that. Can we get a horny tee, please?
Listen, I love the guest spots. I just don't want it to be a permanent thing, because it just like it makes the improv like a whole 4D chess situation, and there's a huge thunderstorm happening here, so maybe my opinion was that evil that it caused lightning from the sky.
Yeah, I'm not going to complain about horns with Goose. So fun. But again, I like to dance. I want the high energy stuff, and the horns usually mean that it's funky and danceable, and that just speaks to my soul. So
yeah, as long as it's not like a permanent thing, I'm here for it. I just don't want it every show.
Stuart, you're not invited to join Goose.
Stuart, you're invited to stop by any show you want. I just don't want it every song, every show. Like that, people were talking like make them full-time members.
Only the shows that Alex is at. You can only come to the shows Alex is at.
True.
I love this energy.
Yeah, I like being called out. This is fun.
I'm a high energy person too, but I also don't want horns full time. I'm fine with them guesting whenever they want, but I want as much Rick Materatonda solo time as I can get. But that's a me thing.
My man.
For sure.
Sorry.
Well, he's the golden god to me, so it's just, I'm very, very biased.
I get it. We all are.
How are you gonna get the Jody of the year?
Of the year.
Of the year.
It's one of the best t-shirts I've ever seen.
I don't know. The horns jam. Silly shirts. I'm surprised for it, but again, that's a later conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm getting ahead of myself. But anything else here on set 1? Or do we want to move on to this crazy opening set 2?
Only thing is that it was like, holy shit, is this the longest set 1 ever? It was like almost 2 hours. I'm not sure if it was, but it was very long. And I was like, how are they gonna, squeeze in a set before curfew? But they were very prompt, and they didn't seem that worried about it. So everyone was kind of like, okay, maybe they are going to go past curfew by a few minutes or something. And they blew away our expectations.
Time doesn't exist to me at a show. Couldn't have told you how long that first set was. No idea how long set break was. No idea how long the second set was. Couldn't tell you what time we left. It just was a vibe.
Oh my gosh.
I could have done another 6 hours, like easily.
Oh yeah. There was part of me that was like, I could drive to Westville right now. Who needs a hotel room?
I did. we left MSG, I went home, and then we left for Westville around 3 a.m. I got to my parents' house in Connecticut at 5 a.m.
You are a legend.
Yeah, it was a lot. Endless energy.
Okay. Sorry, Mike. Let's get
Insane.
to set 2. You've been trying to get us there for like 10 minutes.
Thatch opener.
I'm just trying to keep us mildly on the rails, but we're gonna go on a lot of tangents. I'm comfortable with it.
On leash.
On leash. I
Better.
apologize. I've tried to
Okay.
get into my vernacular here.
I can't help it anymore. I think I said it at work the other day. It's just become part of the lexicon.
The
Amazing.
goal is to get everyone to say it at work, right? Like,
Always. The goal is to be as off leash as possible at all times without getting in trouble. Let's make it a thing. Off leash summer.
Words to live by. Be more off leash.
Anyway, set 2.
Yeah.
Killer
So
opener.
Thatch,
Holy shit.
tell me, people, how was my favorite song at MSG? I want to hear about it. I'll shut up.
They came out swinging again. I mean, we all knew we were getting a Thatch. I wasn't sure when it was going to happen, if it was going to be encore, it was going to be the end of set 2, but opening set 1 was like, okay, we're back and we're going to continue moving. Like through a brick wall.
so Jess, I don't know if you know this about my co-host Mike, but he's been to like 20 shows or something, and you still have not seen Thatch, and it's your favorite. It's his most common not seen. He always misses it by a show.
You got to come with
Yeah.
me to a show.
So
Pretty sure like
normally
the last
we
6 times
ignore.
it's played. I was at the show before.
Yeah, normally we ignore it, right? Like we're just like, oh, that song doesn't exist when you missed it, but we can't ignore this one, man. I'm sorry, it was fucking sick. And one of the best ways to open a set too. It was in my mind at that moment. It was between this or Madhuvan or Big Modern, kind of like as like the power trio.
I really thought Big Modern.
Yeah, it was expected, but also like it could have been any of those 3, and no one would have been shocked. And
I'm not mad.
this jam was pretty interesting. It's like the prettiest Thatch you'll ever hear in your life. It was a normal kind of funk zone to get started, and Rick's kind of leaning heavily into like the digital synthy effects that almost somehow worked as like a cool funky bridge into like this really gorgeous Bliss section. And honestly, you forget that it was Thatch. Like you might think that they were looking for heaven instead of Atlantis in that movie. If you listen to this song, like, my goodness, it's just lingering in the beauty for a long time, and then kind of crank the intensity up by the end. And most joyful peak you'll ever hear on a Thatch, like I said, just wild. That's my only notes, was like, this is heaven.
I floated my way through set 2. Details are fuzzy. It was just like moving like crazy. Me and my girlies on the floor. Just so much dancing. That's all I got. All good vibes.
Yeah.
It was almost like a dance party that was telling a story in set 2. Music's always telling a story, especially when you're doing improv solos. Like you're expressing yourself through the instrument, but this was like you could feel the threads being woven even more, especially early in the set. It was really cool.
For sure. I think this Thatch was really, really good. To your point, it was like that trippy, psych, blissy, airy space that was really interesting. But then I feel like by the end, it kind of was reminiscent of the Rockdale from Guilford on the night before. Just like that driving bliss. It was really gorgeous. And it kind of transitioned effortlessly into this Redbird, which feels like it's been a minute since we've been reminded of the endless jam potential of this song. But this one was really, really good and flying high pretty much right away. So either of you have thoughts on the Redbird here?
Redbird's actually one of my least favorite songs. I kind of like choke through the singing part to get to the jam. The jam's always fun, but it's definitely, it brings you down. And as I said, I want to dance.
No,
the jam
I
is
love
fun.
Redbird.
The jam is fancy. The jam got really good towards that middle part. The lights were crazy, but I put my goose mask on and I just kind of like flew while he was singing.
Oh my gosh.
To entertain myself.
You're cutting me to my soul here, Jess. I love Redbird so much. It's okay. It's a common sentiment. Like,
love Peter so much. That song just like it makes me sad. I don't want to be sad at a show.
I mean that is fair. It is emotional, and it kind of to that point we touched on it before that there was some thoughtful set listing going on, and this felt like
Yeah,
Peter's big moment of the entire show.
absolutely.
Also, to your point, Jess, I think this is genuinely like some of the coolest improv I've ever seen them do in person myself. Like they covered an insane amount of ground, and it's only like 17 minutes. Like when I look back at the timestamps after the show, I was like, this felt like it was like 25, 30 minutes of concepts that they just kind of crammed in 17 minutes. And yeah, you come in hot with that soaring, triumphant guitar solo that usually comes at the end of Redbird, and then like Peter just immediately takes over. This was his moment, like I said, and he's really dictating the feel early on, hitting some like sharp key shots, and everyone's kind of dancing around him with this kind of punchy sound that he's inspired everyone into, and then hit a quick peak with like super quick precision, and then break down into like this swirling, trippy, quiet space that gets a little. It's like kind of becomes like a beast of its own. That was the notes I wrote, where it's like Peter's rocking this weird like delayed sound on his marimba, and then Rick also kind of locks into that, and it creates like this like kind of darkish feeling. It was uneasy, trippy, but then it's like joyous and goosebump inducing in that way, where you're like, oh my god, this is like the greatest thing ever. I don't know. It was one of the most unique jams I ever heard them do, and I really have a hard time putting on my finger as to whether I was scared or happy during it.
Yeah, I feel like towards the end it got kind of dark. It was like headed towards the like Fiddler's Factory zone, but then they abandoned that and went into Don't Leave Me This Way, which I am not complaining about. That was awesome. But it made sense for like the crowd too and for MSG to like go back into that dance party. Yeah, it was Redbird was the jam is fun. The jam is always fun.
And for it to segue into something like "Don't Leave Me This Way" is just crazy. But Mike, I want to hear your thoughts from home about this Redbird, if you have any.
I can just be brief. The coolest thing about the Redbird to me was that like after the 11-minute mark, they just kind of like moved into where they're all doing their own thing together, but also separately, if that makes sense. I'm not even really sure what to call it. It was really funky, but it was cool to me how long they would leave themselves kind of like disconnected, where they're all kind of like off doing their own thing, exploring stuff, but like not drifting too far away from each other either. And then the end, to both of your points, it's like a brief like evil circus outro section that absolutely rules. But the transition into Don't Leave Me This Way was also really awesome.
Yeah, it felt like it was like darkness but also glory together. Like I don't know, like it was just an amazing feeling. And then that seamless transition into "Don't Leave Me This Way" is just crazy, coming off of a dark jam like that. Like the most different emotions possible.
Yes.
But yeah, Jess, let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah. Don't Leave Me This Way. I am obsessed with Don't Leave Me This Way. I knew it was coming. I made a fake set list the night before. It was all over it. I was positive we were getting one. They've been whipping it out at like their big shows. It's just a fun dance party ever since Goosemas. Like it's been a hit. It's a crowd pleaser. I think I've never danced harder in my life than the Don't Leave Me This Way. Yeah, so good. I have nothing to say other than like that was insane. I love that song. Great cover. Great choice.
Would you say it was the best cover from Goosemas last year? Because Mike and I always have this debate.
I think it might have been, although I have to go back and look at the set list. Okay, I really liked Help Slip Frank too. That was really special. But the
Those are
Don't
the
Leave Me
two.
Say, like, yeah. I mean, those are the two. So good. I'm a dance party girl.
I would argue for Get Down Tonight, and I'll die on that hill that was the actual best disco song from Goosemas. I realize I'm alone, but it's fine. It got a longer jam too.
The Get Down Tonight was great. I love that song, but Don't Leave Me This Way, there was something there that was special. And obviously the band feels that way too, because New Year's this
Oh yeah, I'm in the minority.
yeah.
And well, I'm positive Mike could probably feel the earth shaking from how much MSG was moving during "Don't
Yeah,
Leave
the
Me This
floor
Way."
was moving.
The whole building was shaking. Like ever since they brought it out, it's been a party, like you said, Jess, and that was just like the wildest thing I've ever seen. Well, it was the wildest thing up to that point in the show, because just like one song later, it got even crazier somehow. Yeah, great cover. And you knew they were going to bust it out in a big setting again after all the appearances so far. It makes sense.
It was so good. I will go back to that frequently.
What about this tumble though? I think this might be my highlight from MSG.
Oh my god, so fun! We got the goons.
Unreal. The goons.
I love the goons.
So good.
We're gonna have to make this like a national holiday of like Tumble Day, 6/28, because we got the Philly Tumble last year, and then this one from MSG. Like, anyway, what'd you think about it, Jess?
I am a recent Tumble convertee. Does that make sense? Whatever that means. It never really did anything for me, and then ever since Cotter's come in, it's gotten really goonsy and big dance party, and I've been loving it. Yeah, we were just on one nonstop. It was great. I have no complaints there. Again, hard to complain about this band these days.
Yeah, I mean, really, every show is a can't miss occasion. It feels like they find a way to make every stop feel special.
And they need to stop that. Start playing worse. Like I can't keep going.
We're in financial ruin, but we'll make it work.
All of it. But no, Tumble was fun. I wasn't actually expecting that either. It felt appropriate, like looking back, but I was a little surprised they broke it out.
Mike, how about you? What'd you think about it? I want to hear your thoughts before I geek out.
I mean, they've been doing this with Tumble lately. Like all of them, Cleveland was super goonsy, and Indy was too. But this felt like an escalation, or maybe like the completion of what they've been doing with the Goons all of June, because it felt like this was a new level. It was new and dark. It had like touches of like what it feels like to listen to DJ Marble Menthols. And I texted you, Alex, pretty much right away that this was like the vampire nightclub vibes from the movie Blade. So yes. It was so sick, so much fun. It definitely was my highlight from watching at home.
We got to get that meme up stat. We'll clip this and put like a video of Blade slashing through people in a nightclub. Yeah, to that point, I think this is going to be most people's star of the show, and rightfully so, because this is definitely, in my opinion, like it's got to take the cake as like the most insane display of the Goons we've gotten. It's well said by you, Mike, and you, Jess, that like the culmination of it to this point. And yeah, that digital tone that Rick has, that's like that octave fuzzy, but like also like synthy sounding thing is so cool. And Peter's rocking that like disco-y arpeggiator thing in the background. It's unbeatable. And then once you think that even Rick has like hit that digital tone, he like takes it in overdrive at one point in this, where we get into that Blade territory. To your point, Mike, God, that's all I can think of now. But yeah, it kind of creeps up in the best way to where you're drowning in that sound, and it just is infectious, and the whole room is like dancing harder than you've ever seen in a room dance. Going back a little bit, we just to stay on theme a little bit, we'd been talking about like the mindful set listing and like how there are songs that felt like people's moment, and I kind of thought this was Trevor's biggest highlight reel from the whole show, although the whole kind of night felt like Rick and Trev's big showcase. They were both just on fire the whole night, and as the two OG members left in the band, that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, full on club vibes in this one. That futuristic octave fuzz sound is always going to hit with me, and it's the Goons, baby. Taken to 11.
It's the Goons. I love the Goons.
And then what about Creatures? It was kind of short, but they kept the party going.
Yeah. Honestly, this is one I thought was kind of a throwaway. I didn't think it was super necessary in the show. The jam did what the Creatures jams always do, which is always really fun. But it was your typical, like, Creatures that could have been anywhere. It kept the party going. But it was definitely the one for me where I was like, this could have been subbed for something else.
Honestly, I don't like disagree with the point that it was a very standard one. I think it was really there to serve as a transition to Shama Lama, which absolutely had to be played at this show. There was no way that they couldn't play that at this show with how big that cover is popped off on Spotify and all that shit from that Buffalo 2019 release. Like the whole crowd was singing that like Give It Time. I couldn't believe how loud the singing was. But I will say, when they do play like these shorter versions of Creatures, I do like when they stick to like that like minor key carousel style jam that they do that's like short and compact. It's fun. I like Creatures. I'm here for it. I like it when it's improv like crazy, but I'll take it.
The standard jam is fun. I do enjoy it. It's just I've seen it a bunch, and it didn't do it for me this time. But Shama was cool. That's when Peter came down and was like, "We've passed curfew. We're gonna keep going."
It was
Right. That was the moment.
They were playing like a minute of like the opening chords, and then like it's like, wow, this is like a long intro for Shama, and then Peter came on and was like, hey, we're past curfew. We're gonna keep going if you want to hang, which is like the coolest thing ever. And then of course like 3 rows of people in front of us left for some reason because they must have had a train to catch or something. But that was kind of like a weird vibe, but more room to dance.
How could you walk out?
It was bizarre. I could not believe it.
That's insane behavior.
Anyway.
But yeah, Shama was great. Always a fun bust out. I want to say, did they play that one at Fiddler's too?
No, this is the first time they played it since Toronto.
Really?
So, yeah,
like recently, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
I can double check that real quick. That's what I had written down here.
I believe you.
That's a long time.
I don't track things that hard.
It felt like they were saving it for this night. Like, I don't know, Mikey and I we like knew that they were going to play this somehow.
I did not know that. It was a surprise to me, completely. I didn't think about it.
This was the first song I wrote down when we did our picks, Alex. Like, honestly,
yeah.
I was just
same.
if there's anything that's a slam dunk, it's Shamalama.
Really?
It was this and Factory Fiction were my 2 slam dunks.
Yeah.
They're 2 I did not put on myself.
And funny enough, the 3 songs that they played at Soulshine, I like wrote off the list. I was like, they should totally play them again, but like maybe they're going to be like, oh, we played those there last year. We're not going to play them. And they played all 3, which is great.
Yeah.
But anyway, we were geeking out making like fake Fantasy Goose picks because we suck at real Fantasy Goose. So we just play with each other on the side too.
Same. I don't play. I just like to make my own unhinged set lists and then be like, this is what they're going to play today. And they never play.
Yeah. Shout out to Neil at Fantasy Goose. He gave me one of the Goont stickers.
I took like 10 out of his hand. He was very upset with me.
Neil's the man. But yeah. Anyway.
That's my dad.
Oh my goodness.
Back to Shama real quick. Like I said, I could not believe that was like the second loudest singing I heard all night from the crowd behind Give It Time. Mike, I don't know if that came through on the stream, but it was just wild.
I did not particularly notice it, but then again, I was singing my little heart out, so that could be why.
Yeah, and listening back to the boards a little bit, I did notice that the crowd noise wasn't as loud as like we experienced in the room from the singing. I don't know, maybe it's just like maybe I'm over hyping it from my section. Or
no, the crowd is definitely lower on the boards than it was in person because it was very prominent. And when I went back to listen, I was like, the crowd was way louder than what it's coming through as.
There was like a point during Give It Time and during Shimmer, I was like, Rick could just like stop singing right now and just like let the room sing this part. It was crazy, Mike.
Totally. But yeah, I'm sure they did that on purpose though. Like, you want the band to come through. I'm not going to a show to listen to the crowd sing.
Totally. Any thoughts on Creatures Shama, Mike?
No, I mean, it was a really fun part of the show. The only thing I would say is that I kind of thought at the time that Creatures, because it's been goonsy at times lately, I thought that they might just keep the goons from Tumble going through Creatures, but I didn't know that Shama was coming next at the time. So like if I could have seen the future, I would have understood that more, but I have no problems with it because, again, I knew we were going to hear Shama and I wanted to hear it. So,
well, at this point in the show too, it was like pushing that curfew point, like we just said. And so after that tumble, I was like, oh, maybe they're going to like close the show with to what you said, like a Goonsy Creatures, and then play an encore of like a short encore of like Shama Arcadia or something. Like I didn't know what they were going to do, but no, it just blew us away in an even crazier way than we could have predicted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Jedstone Dripfield, let's hear it.
Oh, wait, dude, you're forgetting about the Return to Tumble, man.
Yeah. That Return to Tumble was awesome. Just bring the energy right back up. And Yeah, that was an like definitely a highlight going back into to finish out the tumble.
Yeah, and when they first went back into it, it was like no one had any idea that they were gonna reference it as tumble until they played like that outro portion. But like it was like, is this like the MSG jam? Are we gonna get like a TED tape style jam here for MSG or something? And it was only like 7 minutes, but like it was absolutely rocking. That has to be the fastest I've ever seen them play the outro of Tumble.
Crowder was like full steam ahead. I'm surprised he didn't like rip through all his drum heads.
Oh God, yeah. And honestly, Rick was playing so fast, I thought that he was gonna like slice his fingers open on the strings. Like it was just crazy. It's like those are knives you're playing on right now because you're playing so fast.
Yeah, that was awesome. And then they had to slow us down. There was too much energy for a room.
The cool down was absolutely necessary though. Like I know you like the dance and the vibes, but like
Yeah,
that was too much insanity. You got to sit there and process for a minute. So at least I do. Maybe because I'm an old man.
it was good placement for sure. I was at they played Dreadstone for the first time at Fiddlers, so a lot of people have been talking about it coming back. I heard rumors that ever people were like, it's gonna be Westville. I'm happy it was at MSG. It was really special. It's a beautiful song, and I do think everyone needed to breathe for a moment.
It was like I was thinking of like what the cool down song would be before MSG, and I did not have Jed Stone on my list. I thought something like This Old Sea or something like that might have worked because I was also like an emotional beat, but this was just even more perfect. Jed Stone is like the new emotional powerhouse cool down tune, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
Serves as like the big emotional punch before the song to close the set or before the encore or whatever. And it was just a perfect precursor to Dripfield.
trippy dance party.
And yeah, it's got all the feels, but it's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Dreadstone did what it needed to do, and then close the set with a drippy
Yep.
dance party.
Drippy dance party. But real quick, Mike, any thoughts on Jed Stone before we get into Dripfield?
No, I just thought it was cool. I thought it had to have been probably one of the most emotional moments for the hardcore fans. And then, like we talked about it earlier, with like a lot of this set list just seemed built to accommodate all of the new and old fans of Goose, and especially the people that have been there from the beginning. And it felt like I thought maybe they might save Jedstone until fall or winter tour or something like that after Colorado, but to give that there, they were so thoughtful about making this show as memorable and unique for the hardcore fans, I feel like, and it was just really special.
Yeah, that's back to that mindful set listing point. That's a great call, Mike. And yeah, I had thought that in the moment. I forgot to write it down. Like this felt like the moment for like Matt and all the Basuto fans and everyone involved in making this happen before there was even a goose to think about.
So what about this Dripfield though?
It was hot.
I mean, we knew we were getting a drip field. That was non-negotiable for MSG. Always so fun. They went into the jam differently than I've like heard the last couple of shows or the last couple of times I've been at a show. Usually, like immediately they go into like the funk and it's like Trevor led, and I feel like they approached it a little differently, which was still really fun. But I was a little caught off guard, like right when normally like the bass hits, the beat drops. I don't know, but it was so fun. It was a great way to close out the show. My friends and I were screaming at the top of our lungs, all of the words. Yeah, it was great placement.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't a very long version, but it was exactly what we needed to close out that second set. And we were sitting in like those side stage, like a little bit behind the stage seats, right behind Cotter, and it was like the best thing ever. Having coming from playing the drums growing up a lot and like watching him from like his kit perspective was just like the geekiest, coolest thing I could have possibly done that night. And the pulsing toms was shaking the whole room. Like I don't know if you could feel it on the floor, but from the seats,
That
I was like,
yes,
I thought it was an earthquake.
it was actually. I plugged my ears for a moment. It was
Loud.
really that was the loudest moment for me to the point where it was like kind of uncomfortable actually for a little bit of Dripfield. I think I looked at the band and I said, "Turn it down."
It was so loud. It was like literally, I was like, oh my God, like this is, am I crazy? Is it, it's like an earthquake on top of a concert happening right now? Because it was like the most the room shook. It must have been the volume and over mostly anything, but holy shit.
Yeah, it was really loud.
But yeah, the improv was kind of like that industrial rockish sound with a little bit of the goonts. Like it was pretty cool. And Rick just rip roared to the end with the glorious peak, and then kind of faked us out like a little bit and added one last mini peak, and then closed out in that fiery finish, which was awesome. And the crowd pop was the best. And I wish it was 2 more hours. Like, surprise, we're doing a third set. We're gonna end at 3 a.m. But can't be greedy.
That's my kind of show. Let's do that. How was Dripfield from home?
Dripfield from home was amazing. I always feel like it's like one of the top moments you can experience at a Goose show, especially the beat drop out of the "Why You Gotta Be Such a Soldier." It's just goosebumps every freaking time. So, and this was a rockin' one, so it's about as chef's kiss as it gets for me until we get to this encore, which is the most chef's kiss for me.
Oh yes. Real quick before we get to Arcadia, you said it, that ramp up right after "Why You Gotta Be Such a Soldier" all the time is like the crazy coolest crescendo ever. It's like the quickest ramp up I can think of in one of my favorite tunes. Like it's just from not low vibes, but like peaceful almost feeling to like I'm gonna run through a fucking wall. It's like 2 seconds.
That beat drop, yeah,
Just the best.
It's amazing.
But yeah, just like a really lame encore, like Arcadia.
Yeah,
like
lame.
Who wants to hear that at a Goose show
with horns? Are you kidding me?
Felt like the most appropriate way to close out the show, just like where we started. It wasn't what I wanted, but I know it's like what we needed. And the horns, I mean, as I said, we love Horny Goose, but I don't think they added too much to Arcadia. It was cool to like get that and have that now recorded like for posterity. But it was more just like that full circle moment where the crowd singing back and the song that got us all there. That's so many people's like entry point into Goose was Arcadia. It felt really appropriate and really beautiful. What a cool moment.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Mike? What you got, man?
Yeah, I was super happy that horns are back on Arcadia. We got that a little bit during Jazz Fest EMG release week, and I think it works well. I think that the coolest part about Arcadia with horns is the outro. I just think that the outro specifically with Rick's slow building guitar solo along with those horns, it just like it really gets under my skin. And I always have said I think Arcadia is the best encore closer for Goose. It just, I don't know, it's like the goosiest song to me. And so it just feels like it's the epitome of them as a band in a way. And that's like kind of the first thing I think of. And I just can't imagine closing down MSG with any other song, like for me anyways.
They had to, like exactly what Jess said. It's like maybe it wasn't like what everyone was hoping for, wanting that one last song to be like their favorite they didn't get yet or anything like that. But you had to get your dose of Arcadia here. It was so special. And I don't know, the horns were awesome. I thought they translated so well, especially like those like one shot, like those quick one shots they do in the verses. Like after Rick would say a line, it'd just be like a bam, like out of nowhere, it just like pop off. Like I was doing jazz hands all over the place, like a total lunatic. And yeah, I'm here for it. More horns in Arcadia, please.
More horns, period.
Listen, I'm not anti-horns. I just don't want them to be permanently in the band. But yes, shout out to Rashawn Ross and Jeff Coffin at the Gorge. You better guest or you're dead to us.
Seriously, I will find you.
Y'all crazy.
We're just manifesting some Horny Goose, please.
We do need another hot tea with horns. It's been too long.
And I want one of the like a fast tea with horns. They did the album version, the studio version. It's a bit slower.
Yes. Yeah. I hear you. Any other final thoughts here on MSG before we move on to the last show of tour?
Go ahead, Jess.
I don't know. It was one of the coolest experiences ever to have been there for that. I feel so lucky and kind of emo just like over this band and the community that we've created from it. I met my closest friends at a Goose show and I got to be with all of them on the floor at MSG. Over the last 4 years, we've built something crazy. I know Goose has been around longer than that, but I haven't. So from my perspective, this this band has allowed us to create this community. It has brought in so many amazing people, and we are so special. We're so lucky to be here. Like what we have is beautiful, and it's why we started the Femme Flock, because like this doesn't exist everywhere. And just walking around on the floor and running into people I've known on the internet for 4 years, being like, oh my God, we've talked so many times and I'm finally getting to hug you, or giving out stickers. I had a whole bag of lollipops and monkey noodles that I was just handing out to anyone who walked by me. And the vibes were so high, and the way it should be when you see your favorite band and these people that you've grown with, and they've grown so much. And obviously we've had band lineup changes and things have just been evolving like crazy. And it was really cool to have been there. I'm psyched about it. I'm feeling really emotional about it.
I mean, that's getting me choked up a little bit. That's so sweet. You're absolutely right. It was perfection. It was pure joy out of that room. And yeah, it was like Mike and I are obviously like longtime lurkers, recently putting ourselves out there as like introvert boys trying to like, push our boundaries, I guess, and geek out about what we love. But everyone was so welcoming and kind. And even when we did that, we didn't even talk about like the pre-show meetup that we did at Moynihan. And it was just the best. Like everyone was so welcoming and so kind. And, so many people were meeting for the first time and like had been talking for a long time online, like you said, Jess, and meeting there for the first time. And it was just like the happiest meetup I can remember in a long, long time. And I wish I was way better about taking pictures, because I wish I had more to like post.
I got you. I have so many. I'm still going through them. There are so many pictures that are coming. That is one thing I'm very good at, is taking the content. I'm not so good at posting the content, but it does live somewhere.
I'm the worst about pictures.
But yeah, we are so lucky. This band it's changed my life fully. Like the whole trajectory of my life since I found this band. I was not a jam girl. And now I've been on tour for the last 2 months. Like, what am I doing with my life? I don't know. No one in my life understands it, but like I'm so happy. I'm feel so fulfilled going to a show, going to a festival. This community is really, really special. And it's Goose that brought us here.
Yeah, without a doubt. And Mike, you can't miss an MSG again, dude. That was like sacrilege. I'm going to subsidize your cost or something. We can sell like OnlyFans pictures of our feet, dude. Like,
I need just someone to push New York a little closer to me. If anyone can help me with that.
You can't have a Goose podcast and not go to the biggest show ever. You're missing out.
And I had so much fun of my week on tour in Wilmington and Cleveland. It was a blasty blast.
It was a good tour.
It's a great time, no matter what show you're at.
And this is why Nugs is my most important subscription. So
best money you can spend.
Yeah, every month.
Well, besides to go to New York.
You guys want to know a secret?
Yeah.
What's the secret?
I don't have Nugs.
Cut that. Cut that.
Yeah, we're cutting that out.
No, it's okay. People know I'm getting it. Goose doesn't exist unless I'm at the show. I only listen to the shows I'm at too. I have Bandcamp. But,
Bandcamp, yeah.
But I know it's next on my list, but I don't watch the streams and such.
Okay.
Bad FOMO. If I'm not there, they're not playing. I get mad that they're playing songs that I want to hear.
I have to see it, or otherwise I have way too much FOMO if I can't watch it.
I do look at every set list because I like to play like the Fantasy Goose in my head. I'm not playing online, sorry, but I like to, especially if I'm going to a show in the upcoming run, I like to know like what's coming and what's not. But yeah, I don't have Nugs. Well, Nugs, you want to sponsor me?
Let's cue up the Sarah McLachlan music or whatever it is with the sad dog commercials, and if you can donate 5 cents at a time to donate for Jess's Nug subscription.
I love my Spotify subscription a lot.
Okay. Not as good as Nugs.
This is Nugs sponsor all of our podcasts. What are you doing?
Yes, exactly. Yes, please. We'd love that. But yeah, MSG, dude.
MSG.
Just a crazy, crazy ride. 2 nights next year.
5 nights next year. Let's fucking go. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it.
We need to start the campaign for Goosemas MSG next year.
Oh, that would piss off the fish fans so much.
It's so close to fish.
I would love it.
I'm kind of upset because moving forward now, I'm gonna have to do Cabo. I'm gonna have to do Goose MSG every year. I'm gonna have to do Goosemas. Like, do you just want direct deposit access to my bank account? Like, this isn't cool.
We talked about this, giving them access to our wallet somehow, like just like directly connect them to our banks.
I'm not cool with it.
Yeah, if we can start like a 401k program, like something that where you collect goose interest, that'd be great.
It's ridiculous. I'm like, you keep doing more, do less. So I'm tired. But we're very lucky. No, I'm hyped. We're doing MSG every year. Goosemas at MSG would be the coolest thing ever, and I don't know in what world that could happen just because of the Fish New Year's run.
It's like the second weekend of December. We got time. Like
they'll just do Goosemas at the Sphere. Like,
I'm not ready for that one.
Don't you dare.
I mean,
way too early to start rumors like that, my friend.
Another Dolan venue, like whatever.
It's never too early to start rumors.
Let's just go all in on pissing off the fish fans.
Let's start all the rumors. But no, MSG.
Oh, we say that as fish fans. Like, I don't know why I'm talking shit over here.
Oh, I like Fish. I just don't like all Fish fans. Fish the band. Amazing.
Especially not the ones that comment on every single one of our posts.
I have nothing to say. I am legally not allowed to speak anymore.
The lawyers have advised against it. So let's move on to Westville because the lawyers are waving us off.
This is one I have a lot to say about. So I live in New York City. I live in Brooklyn. But I grew up about 10 minutes away from Westville Music Bowl. So I had 2 hometown shows right after another. I grew up in the backyard of Yale. This was my first show was Westville Night 2 2021. I'd found, as I said, Goose on Reddit, and they were playing in my hometown like a month later. So this closing out tour at home I was hyped. I've said this a couple times, but it's really weird when you go to Westville and you see all your best friends' dads tripping balls. So I have to be on my best behavior because I know everyone who's there. It's a special venue, hometown show. I had a bunch of my friends over to my parents' house for New Haven pizza. I will fight you if you have a bad New Haven pizza opinion. I have fought people for this.
Wait, what's your spot?
Sally's for cheese, Pepe's for white clam, and special shout out to Bar for bacon mashed potato pizza. Really special. But they're all good.
We went to Sally's.
Sally's is great. They're all good. You can't really go wrong. But yeah, we booked it. My friends and I literally MSG finished. I got back to my apartment with them around like 1:30, 2 o'clock. I don't even know what time it was. We left. Our ride got to us at 3. We got to my parents' house at 4:45. Went to bed, woke up, got pizza. Made it to the show for a very sticky show.
Oh, so muggy.
It was really sticky. Westville has an early curfew. So they start early. The traffic around there is insane, but you can miss it. Everyone was complaining. I'm like, I didn't hit any traffic, but I knew where to park. But I think a lot of people made it in pretty late because it was kind of a shit show getting into the bowl. And then no service at the bowl. There were so many people who I was trying to see. I sent so many of my friends for their first shows with their parents and could not contact a single person once you walked in.
No, that's absolutely accurate. Ooh, big lightning bolt. I don't know if you heard that. Yeah, I heard the same thing about the traffic. We didn't run into that, but we also got like the tip to book the premium parking or whatever, lot A there. It's like the grass lot that's right there by the side. It was like the easiest in and out. And it was like not expensive at all. It was like $25 or something. So like we were just like, fuck it.
Or you could just street park in Westville for free if you're on the right street.
Oh, that's even better. See, we don't know these things.
Let me know next year. I got you.
But yeah, I heard nightmare stories, and to your point, no service, so I didn't see pretty much anybody. I saw you and Fran for like a quick second. Like, said,
did you? Did I see you?
I don't know if I saw Fran, and I think you were with her. But
no, I was definitely there. I was just a lot of energy and so many people I'm talking to. I definitely saw you.
But I honestly it was a blur because I was so
It's
tired from MSG and like dancing way too hard at that show. I'm pretty sure there's a hole in the Westville Music Bowl turf where I was dancing.
Were you on the floor?
Hmm.
I traded my floor tickets with Nikki, my co-host from the Femme Flock, for her. We were in 107, my friend Andy and I. So right in front of Trevor, dead on, pretty low.
Nice.
I was actually hanging out with Rick's mom. She was in our section. Shout out to Mo.
Sick.
She's great.
Mo.
Yeah, we love her. But I had my goose mask, and I was walking around in it, and security liked it, and they handed me a wristband for the floor. So I was everywhere.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, let's go. That kind of stuff just happens when you're wearing a goose mask.
And it was a party show. It was like it started
Absolutely.
off hot.
I feel like Westville always is though, because it's hometown for them. So it's usually the end of tour. It's the vibes are high. It was very much a party show.
Yeah.
Five
So,
covers. Are we gonna read the set list? Go for it.
well, I think Mike hasn't had his turn yet. So, Mike, why don't you read the set list off?
Okay, so Yeti, Pumped Up Kicks Yeti to start. And then you've got Iguana Song, Your Direction, another cover of Amongster, All I Need, and Salt. And then set two, Big Modern, Madavon, Whip It, Susie Q coming back, Same Old Shenanigans, and then a brief slow ready into fast slow. Where do you guys want to start here?
It's weirdly enough, we forgot the encore in there of you spin around like a record, but that's
It was
missing in our show doc.
understood.
No, I think that's my bad. Honestly, I think I'm going to put it in here. I forgot it. So, yeah, pretty big party.
Yeah, fun
Yes.
show, high energy. I do think five covers is too many covers. I
Yeah.
could have done without Amongster. Just kind of a downer.
What?
Table it. Sorry.
Well,
It really was not it for me. I thought it was kind of a weird placement too. After a lot of fun, high energy, the iguana and the Your Direction that we didn't get at MSG. It really, I could have done without the Amongster, but that All I Need and Salt, so good. Oh my God.
yeah. I mean, we'll get there as soon as I rattle off a few things about the early set, but that's the highlight of the entire show for me by far is that 2-song run. I think that this show, just going backtracking high level, 30,000-foot view, was always going to be held under like a crazy microscope of expectations after something like MSG, and I was kind of curious to see where they would take this thing. And people were saying like, oh, they should have just ended with MSG and played a show like a one-off show later or something. It's like it would have always been that way after MSG. Like the next show was going to be so scrutinized, and I thought they handled it about as well as you could, minus the covers point, Jess. I think just like ramping up the energy, making it mostly a dance party that on this night was a good call to
I
just
mean,
kind of like end the tour.
I feel like they were just like, okay, the pressure's off. Like we did it. Now we can do
Yeah,
whatever we want. And they
yeah,
did.
definitely. It's better than like a deep cuts only show or something. I would say like
Oh yeah.
to just be like, fuck it, we're just gonna have a fucking party and celebrate everything we accomplished on this tour. But
Yeah.
Yeti Kicks Yeti was a great way to start that off. I know people have mixed feelings about Pumped Up Kicks and being in this run. That song is like the most fucked up song ever that you wouldn't know is fucked up unless you read the lyrics. Like every time I look at my
Yeah.
wife, I'm like, this song is kind of fucked up, but it's a party.
Yeah, we can table that one too. But I love Yeti. A Yeti dance party, let's go. Good way
And
to like set the
they
tone for the show.
the segues were really sick on it too. I'll say that. Like as much as I love like a straight up Yeti, the Goonsey transitions were cool with like the 80s beep boop bop boop kind of sound that we always talk about. I like it. But yeah, I those lyrics make me feel wrong singing those at a show now that I know the words.
Someone told me it's an anti-gun show song, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like
A
meant to be
protest.
dark.
I think Rick just likes singing it.
Well, yeah.
Playing it, whatever.
And then we can move on because I got a lot of random thoughts about that. But Iguana Song. The song
Fun.
rocks.
Song
The
rocks.
best.
Two Guitar Goose is superior.
I thought this was going to be the one that went like full psychedelic. We're going to ride this thing out for a minute because it got really quiet and they toyed around with it a little differently than they had before, but they did not. Alas, they did not. But it was still great. Explosive finish. But real quick, let's let Mike chime in here. I feel bad, Mikey, that we're talking so much, and I want to hear your thoughts.
No, y'all were there. I was not there. I'd way rather hear from you, but like, I mean, I agree. Yeti kicks. I think it's a fun way to start a show. I understand the blowback about kicks, but just overall fun, and Iguana Song keeps it going. But I do think the Iguana Song was different. It was like a dark ghostly jam, but kind of like a baby ghost jam on this one. It was sparse and, you know, a little bit ominous, and it had a quick little peak, and it's short, but it was super tight. So it continues to show that it has a lot of potential for the improv, but just can't wait till hopefully I'm at the show where Iguana Song goes 20 minutes because I love that song.
I feel like Iguana and Your Direction are like primed for that. Like after the Your Direction debut, like that was so fun. I'm waiting for them to bring that back. And like one day we're going to get the Iguana and the Your Direction of our dreams. It's coming.
Yes, I concur.
Yeah. Yeah, in Your Direction, I was a little worried about when they first debuted it. It just didn't sound like it was fully fleshed out, but now it totally does, and it's ready for that.
That's one I like fully had to come around to on the album. When they released it as a single, I hated it. I said, trash this, trash the band. We are not John Mayer. I don't care about your yacht rock. This is made for radio. And getting it live, really fun. I've come around. We can change our opinions.
Gosh.
It's okay.
I love that.
It's okay. When you get more informed and everybody changes. It's all right. It's all good.
I think that the band heard my frustration and just made it a little better in person.
In this, mentally. It got taken for a little bit of a ride at Gonzo, I want to say it was, yes, but it hasn't
that
really.
That one was really fun in Gonzo. That was where I was like, okay, I can do this. But it took till then from the release for me to like not hate it.
Oh, that's fair. Not everyone understands they love yacht rock until it clicks, but everybody eventually loves yacht rock, is my opinion.
Okay.
It's too infectious.
You know, at Rise, if John Mayer wants to sit in for Your Direction,
oh, you know he will. He will.
Won't be mad. It's basically a Mayer song.
And I think, yeah, actually that'd be a lot of fun because then they could segue into one of his songs even. Yeah, that'd be cool.
I hope so. I will be there.
But speaking of segues too, the only thing I really wrote down about Your Direction was the segue into Amongster was dope. Even if you didn't like Amongster,
table it.
I was like, I thought it was a great transition, and I agree a little bit with your point, Jess, that it was like really weird slotting for it. Like it was definitely like a weird vibe, but
like Rick, what are you going through right now? Like, are you that upset? Like, it's a sad, like emotional song. Like, therapy exists. I don't know. It's fine. Sorry.
I don't know if it's that deep, but like I think he just wanted to get the room shaking because the bass on this thing, like it was like another earthquake. I experienced 2 earthquakes in 2 days. Yeah. Mike, you had said on our last podcast, I think it was, where you said that it felt like the ground was shifting, and I totally agree with that. On that turf on the floor, it was like, whoa, this is seismic.
Yeah, I mean, in Cleveland, I like the slotting in Cleveland. I think I agree with Jess. I really don't like Amongster here, and I don't like it coming out of Your Directions. Really, yeah. Like the transition was well executed, but the songs just don't really go together. But to what you were saying and what I felt in Cleveland, because that was my first time hearing it, because I've never really listened to a Rebelo, because like Jess, I kind of prefer things up tempo too. But the cool thing about that cover to me anyways, even though it is a little bit of a downer, is the way Peter uses the synths, it like in combination with what Trevor's doing on the bass, it really does make it feel like the ground underneath me is like swaying, moving back and forth. And that was like, especially when I had left the pit on night 2 of Cleveland and moved to the bleachers, you could really feel it in the bleachers where you just had this like almost like seasick swaying feeling to it. And I haven't found a lot of songs that like move quite that powerfully with the shifts.
Yes, that's well said, and I completely agree with both of you. Weird slotting. I thought the transition was slick, but it's like the tone was just like jarring between the two songs, and
It took a party show and it like went down. I don't know. There's other songs if we needed a break or we needed something emotional that I think could have fit in better.
yeah, totally. Like Christmas Card from a Hooker right there, right?
Sure.
Sure.
I just wanted to see that face again, the stank face. But let's get into the real sauce of this set.
Yes, let's
all
get
I
into
need
the
in
fun
assault.
part.
This is my favorite part of the whole show here. There's actually a video of me somewhere circulating on the internet where I'm in the crowd dancing, burning a hole in the ground, like I said, with my terrible dance moves. But yeah, the jam on this thing is hot. It rides a full spectrum of soundscapes, and it come into that jam with Rick hitting the reverb and the tremolo really hard. It's like really trippy, wavy, riding the vibes kind of sound. And Trevor gets really prominent on this thing about 8 minutes in, kind of dictating where it's going to move around, with Peter kind of sprinkling in these really nice, bright keys over that therapeutic Trevor bass. Speaking of therapy, Jess. And it kind of sets the tone to bring us into this really like nice, quiet space that the band lives in for a minute. And then the Cotter Shuffle starts up and he ratchets up the tempo, and Trevor's playing this like jazzy, bubbly lick that I honestly thought was going to be a segue into Linus and Lucy, if I'm being honest. It sounded like straight up Peanuts. And I honestly thought that's where it was going. And the jazzy feel kind of ratcheted up in intensity all the way to the finish line, building towards a huge peak, and ending in a space that could take us into a rockin' salt fest. But yeah, anyway, that's all my notes.
I'm just happy All I Need has been, it came back. I feel like it's been pretty not prevalent this tour. We still need that second jam, but I'll take a long jammy All I Need any day. It's one of the first songs I think I ever heard from the band, and it's just one of those like brings you back. Feels good to hear it at home. I love it. But Salt, one of my favorites, like high energy. That's a Jess song. And that transition in was awesome. You could like feel it coming. There's all that suspense that just like starts building. And then everyone's just like headbanging and screaming, and I love it. Great set closer.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, I actually did not really see it coming. I was like really blown away by how they shifted into it, but like I should have seen it coming kind of thing. You know, I always feel that way though. I'm really bad at guessing those segues. How about you, Mike? How do you feel about this All I Need? All I Need is back. Is it the year of All I Need?
I'm hoping so. Wilmington was, All I Need was definitely one of my highlights from Wilmington walking away. It was so damn good. Mm-hmm. This one was definitely different. It was more sparse and delicate and melodic, airy bliss, but it kind of reminded me of the Goosemas Hunger site, where it just builds and builds into this super emotional peak, and Peter and Rick are really just divinely playing. And yeah, fantastic transition into Salt. I don't have much more to add. You kind of said it really well.
I love Salt.
Salt is great.
Salt, it's one of those songs where I feel like every person who goes to a show where they play Salt, at some point during it, if it gets jammed out even a little bit, in your head you go, is this the best version of this song they ever played? Every person who's ever been and seen a Salt. Like the amount of texts I got about that is like, is this the best Salt? At every show that they play Salt is...
Yeah, everyone's like, hasty ranking. Like, okay. It's just a good song.
Yeah. If this was not, but it was still awesome. It got like a little dark, little haunted carnival. There was like this descending riff that they were doing that reminded me of something. I can't put my finger on it. It's like it reminded me of something funky, and the whole band locked onto it and then went back into like the crazy Salt outro, shreddy Rick with the guns out, suns out, guns out, sweaty shreddy Rick.
Yeah, sweaty, shreddy rig for sure.
Trying to make the Jody of the year happen, which
I think it happened.
ambitious.
I think he made it happen. He dictated that. I'm pretty sure he's actually in full control of that.
Oh, yeah. I would say so.
But yeah, great set closer. Right, like Westville's, it's always that the show and the time of year, it's always like the sun is starting to go down during set break. And like, that first song when you come back, that sun's going down. And then it's like Getty's time to shine. So you can feel the vibes shift as soon as the set closes. And then like everyone's buzzing during set break.
And I was really excited. Really quick point. I was really excited to see the lights because from where I was sitting side stage, I really did not get a good view of the lights at MSG. It was really cool, my perspective, because I got to like see like almost like a backstage kind of view of the band and like see like things I don't normally get to see at a show. But I was ready for those Getty lights, and they delivered at Westville. That was awesome. Like it was like a small enough stage to where like the lights felt even more intense than I'm used to at a show in a lot of ways, but it was just the best. But yeah, anyway, any last thoughts on set one before we geek out about that set two and Getty and the music?
I'm good. Let's get into it. Set 2 starts off with Big Modern, always so large and in
Yep.
charge. What are everyone's thoughts on Big Modern here?
It was the Big Modern we were supposed to get at MSG. Well, we weren't supposed to get, but it was my MSG Big Modern. Great way to start set 2. I don't think there was another way to do that. It was awesome. Great song, crowd pleaser. I feel like it was an instant hit, one of those songs when they debuted it that everyone was like, I feel like I've known this my whole life. I don't know anyone who doesn't like Big Modern. And they jammed it. It was awesome. Bringing the vibes right back up at a set break. And then the lights or the sun setting during Big Modern. So like the Getty's lights start popping out. Really cool experience.
That's spectacularly said, Jess, because I felt the same way. It was like, we actually were standing further back than we were in the first set just because we went and tried to meet some friends and grab a drink, and we were like, let's hang back a little bit. And it was like kind of like a religious experience watching Big Modern, my like new love since last year, with the sun setting and getting Getty's lights going. And as for as much as a dance party as we called this show, like they hit a lot of really pretty quiet spaces too. They were toying with like the dynamics really well, which was like really interesting, that it still felt like a total party vibe when they were like casually like hitting like these 3-minute segments of just like glorious heaven bliss. But yeah, this was a headbanging rock Big Modern with a touch of beauty and then a little bit of darkness to get us into that Madhuvan transition. But always a good time with Big Modern. It's large and it's current.
Yeah. I had banged so hard I am covered in bruises. Like truly. I left the floor and went back up for Big Modern, and I was in the aisle because you got to headbang like hard, and there were too many of us for our seats, and I like bashed my knee into the rail, and like I knew it was gonna be. It's fine. It was just a big bruise. We usually leave most shows with bruises because dancing and moving.
Being off leash.
Off leash. The leash was there.
The leash maybe the leash in the bleachers. Maybe the leash in the bleachers.
The leash made the appearance for the last song. We'll get there. But no. Big Modern, just a great, great song. Great set 2 opener. Setting the tone for the rest of the set, which was actually kind of weird. If we're going to talk about the next song.
Yeah.
Madhuvan cut short. Weird. Not happy about that. We've had some cool big Madhuvans at Westville before. They just did the songy song part and then just like cut into Whip It. For me, those were 2 that probably could have been traded out for something else, or like no Whip It and we just like jammed Madhuvan a little bit. That was a weird choice, I thought.
Extremely weird choice. I would say that it borders on a war crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm there with you.
I was going to say it if you didn't, Mike.
No, it's at that level. Of all the songs in the entire catalog of Goose, if there's one song that absolutely deserves and needs at least a sliver of a jam every single time, it's Madhuvan. Like, you got to get me 9 minutes or more on this thing. And yeah, that was extremely disappointing in real time because it's like, Whip It's like 2.5 minutes. Like, we just added on to Madhuvan,
Right.
like, and at least it's not egregious.
well, they didn't go back to it ever, which made it like worse. If they had like made a crazy sandwich and come back
Well,
to it, it might have been
did you
better.
see the set list, the actual printed set list? Like they were
I did.
supposed to.
Yeah.
Like I wish they did, but
Well,
Truly.
the actual set list, I'm kind of sad we missed out on a couple of things there that would have
yes.
rounded out the tour.
And Arrow was on there, I believe.
Arrow, How It Ends, not being
How It
played
Ends.
on the set closer felt really weird. And then we'll talk about the encore in a minute.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah, Whip It, weird choice.
Whip It. Susie Q is great, but like I'm a big fan of it. But like 2 covers back to back is just like it makes it tough on paper. But it was fun in person, and part of me thinks that they played so many covers. We were hanging out at New England Brewing before the show, and it seemed like everyone we talked to, was like, "This is our first show, or this is our second show." Like we'd like to go see Goose. Like they're like from around here, and like it just seemed like very casual compared to MSG. So
exactly. I was actually I ran up to the 400s to see some friends who was their first show. One of my best friends and her dad. And it was right when Whip It came on. And she was like, oh, finally something I know. So that was kind of exciting. Like I got to see her like actually like perk up because she was like, I don't know what else. She was here because I was there. And it was all of their first shows. So it definitely felt like they were playing to like, okay, we're back home. There's a lot of people who are coming for the first time because like we're Connecticut boys.
Yeah.
But I love a Susie Q. I did not know I loved it until I played it at Fiddler's, and that was awesome. We actually FaceTimed one of our friends, Carly, who's now on the Femme Flock team. It's one of her favorite songs. So we called her during the song and FaceTimed her so she could enjoy it. I loved the Susie Q. It's a cover they can keep.
It is definitely one they can keep. I'm here for it. I think it just looks tough when everyone's like won that Madhuvan finish, but if they had like played it before Madhuvan started or something, Susie Q, like no one would have cared, I don't think. But everyone's been calling. I forget who said it on Blue Sky, but I was laughing my ass off. Like I think I almost peed my pants at that point when I saw it. On top of when Cotter also did the Down with the Sickness, like the wah thing at the show, I was like dying. Sarah also almost peed her pants. She looked at me. She's like, I almost peed my pants.
I like his
please go to a bathroom.
He has the Daddy Please.
Yes.
Or the Trevor Bass.
But people were calling it Rip It because it was a ripcord and a Whip It instead of Whip It. And I saw that and I was like,
yes.
I was dying laughing. Whoever said that on Blue Sky, I love you. That was the best thing ever.
But yeah, Susie Q was fun, but then into SOS, I love SOS. It is one of the first songs I latched onto with this band. It hits every time. SOS into Dawn, beautiful, powerful. Yeah, it's just like a really emotional moment. Not a super emotional song, but just like so happy and blissful, and the energy just bubbles up and rises. And that was a really awesome moment in the show for me.
I couldn't agree more. In our little bubble, I'm sure this wasn't the case everywhere, but in our little bubble, I think that was even a bigger dance party than the Fast Slow and like the ending Goonts run. People were going ham for the SOS Dawn run, which I love. It's the best. I always say it's my favorite set one closer because I just love seeing like the joy of everyone so hyped off of a Dawn at set break. Like it's just something about that feeling is like it's contagious. So. But it was great, and they've been letting it go for a walk.
Yeah, there's some sort of like joy bubble with Dawn. I love it. I love it so much.
Did you get a chance to dance to this SOS Dawn, Mike, from home?
I always do. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have too many thoughts on it. Dawn is one of my favorite jam vehicles. It's always a great dance party, and SOS is one of my favorite just songy songs like in the catalog. It's one of the first songs I heard when I first started listening to Goose back in 21. So yeah, I've always got love for an SOS Dawn dance party.
100%.
Yeah, the best. It was basically the best vibes of the night in our little bubble, like I said, and it was a great way to celebrate the last show of the tour. That's like the memory I'll have the most from the show, I think, is during this even though I love the All I Need Salt run the most, like listening back, that's just like the most joy I felt at the show was SOS Dawn. But then Slow Ready kicked off, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't think I was going to hear this at all, this tour with Fast Slow being here. And they cut it short a little bit, but it was still a little taste. It got me a little emotional for a minute there, but I'll take Fast Slow. It's all right. I just didn't think I'd see Slow Ready for like years at this point after the Fast Slow debut.
Right? They've
really bad branding on our part.
Yeah, they're not doing you any favors. But ever since they debuted Fast Slow, they've been like playing around with that. It's been everywhere. I feel like there's been very few, if any, Slow and So Readies this run. I could be wrong, but it feels like everything's been a Fast Slow. I had made my way back down to the rail for that one. I don't know. I was everywhere. But that Fast Slow Goonsy jam, so fun. That peak, I got really emotional. Like I usually am high energy, happy at shows, but tour closer, just the where the band has been, as I said, like MSG and where I've been at my life, like that Fast Slow peak kind of like got to me. And I may have been crying on the rail in front of the band. Not a place I'm usually crying, but I don't know. There was something special in the moment, being home and coming off of tour, and it was a really awesome moment to have had, and being surrounded by so many people I had met and love and done tour with. Really special.
I mean, the Goons has that effect on you, and the emotion of it all. Tour season ending sucks. Like, it's great,
I'm ready.
but
I'm so tired. I'm happy tour is over. I can sleep. The band can sleep. But I don't know. The Goons usually has me going. I'm usually like 100% energy all the time. I was caught off guard by the emotions, by the feelings.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. The culmination of like an epic tour, this new sound that they've really like refined and drilled into, and like it just like feeling like the whole tour kind of coming to a head, and it did feel like a little more substance to it than just like a straight up like we're clubbing tonight. Like it felt like they were adding that emotion of like we're grateful for this tour. This has just been like a culmination of everything we've done with the Goons this tour.
This tour felt different. I mean, it might have just been like the lineup changes and I don't know, post Gonzo, like things just feel a little different. They were having fun. Like you can see on the vlogs, you can see like in the songs, you can see just like Rick staring at Cotter drooling like half of every show. Like the vibes in the band are different, and it's translated heavily to the vibes that they've brought to the show and the crowds, and really weird set lists all tour, doing things that like I was surprised by, and I'm here for it. It was a cool thing to be a part of and experience.
Hell yeah. I was honestly too busy dancing and vibing to Fast Slow that I took like no notes outside of Goons. I only have it written down 3 times. So, Mike, if you have any insights that you saw from home, like, I would love to hear them.
The only thing I wanted to say about this Slow Ready, Fast Slow is that I thought it was cool playing a part of Slow Ready and then moving into Fast Slow. And I was talking to a friend of ours, Darren, friend of the pod, about this during the show. And I was like, how cool is it that we've had like Money Ready, regular Slow and So are still in rotation. Then you've got Fast Slow. And so it just kind of seems like anything's possible with any of these songs or combinations of them. Like I'm kind of like getting to the point where I'm ready for any sort of Frankenstein of So, Slow, Goons in between that they want to mix and match. Like it all seems to work effortlessly, whatever Goose wants to do with it. So I think it's just like a fun time for So and Slow Ready in general.
You called it Money Ready? Is that a thing?
That's the Goose Miss one was labeled when they did So Ready and Slow. Yeah.
So Slow, whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Money
It's
Ready.
all money.
I haven't heard that one yet. Yeah, a lot of iterations of it. All money. A lot of iterations. It's kind of cool. Like they can take their songs and play around with them, and it's always something fresh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
and then we had Encore.
Set closer. Yeah. I'm here for the Encore. I love You Spin Me Around Like a Record.
All I wanted was a freaking hot tea. And when I saw that it was on the set list for Encore, I was so mad.
Oh,
Just like, I don't know. It felt like it should have been there. It hasn't popped up that much this tour, and we didn't get it at MSG. And I don't know. It felt like it would have been appropriate. You swimming around was fine. We did have the leash, and we did lasso the leash. Spinning it around.
see,
On
perfect.
the rail, naturally. But
You can't
it was,
spin a leash like that during hot tea, right?
you're
Doesn't
right.
match the lyrics.
But it was Fran and I up front again. My leash girl, and
Shout out to Fran, official photographer for the Slow Ready podcast. We love Fran.
Shout out to Fran Cakes. Love her. She did tour with me. She did more tour than I did, actually. Way to go, girl. She is actually the owner of multiple of the leashes. Shout out to her. But yeah, I was disappointed. It was still fun. I was still really emotional. I was definitely like tearing up throughout the encore, just from all the feels. But I wanted that hot tea so bad. I guess I'll have to go see him again.
I guess we'll have to just go to more shows. What a bummer.
Unfortunately, they're not in the Northeast that much this fall. I actually don't have that much on the docket.
Are you coming to the Man for the Philly show?
No, because I am doing Rise. So that's the big one that I'm doing. The Gorge and Rise are my only ones because I'll be out west this summer. But I am in grad school. So after Labor Day, I'm stuck back in the city. I got to go to class.
Oh, sweet. I'll see you at the Gorge then. That'll
Yeah.
be fun.
It'll be, I did Dave Matthews once in high school because it was like where you could go to drink underage. It was just like what everyone did in Hartford. But
in Hartford, of all places. Oh my God.
I mean, Connecticut girly. So like, I don't know, I did one, but I'm excited. I'm going to do all 3 nights, and I've never been to the Gorge. So I'm really excited about that.
Oh, it's one of the best experiences you'll ever have. My only point of advice is when you walk in for the first time, stay to the left. Like always stay left.
I'm going with people who go to the Gorge frequently. Live in Seattle. So I'm not worried about my time there.
Well, it's a matter of if you go left, you actually crest over the hill to see the venue the first time. And if you go right, you like go around and then you're at the bottom and you don't get the view.
Okay, we're not going to ruin it. I promise. But I'm really excited. But yeah, my fall tour is minimal as of right now because of school.
And it's a short list of shows. Hopefully it'll pick up and you can squeeze in a show or two.
I would like to squeeze in one more because that means Goosemas Night 2 will be my 50. Right now it's 49. So we'll see. I'll just see what I can do. It depends on school schedule.
Okay. All right, Goose, you heard it here. Second, make it happen for Jess. I'm going to assume that you said
I've already told them all. They get to hear from me non-consensually.
There you go. So,
like, I've been asking them to play just the two of us for like 3 years now, because they played it at Worcester Halloween 21, and it was actually when they did is it Linus and Lucy, whatever. Great show, one of my favorite shows. And I've been waiting for Rick to sing just the two of us again, and he knows it. I've said it to him multiple times, but
yeah,
I don't know if it's coming. They don't really like to listen to my opinions.
Well,
I don't blame them. It's okay. They're not here for me.
I was gonna say they've been rolling, not listening to anyone's opinions and killing it. So I'm sure they listen to clips of all of these podcasts and are like, "Fuck you guys! Like, your opinions suck."
Yeah, they don't care. They're gonna do what they want, and I'm cool with it. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any lined up for fall tour? Do you have any shows planned?
Yes.
Mikey, where are you going, man?
We've got Alpharetta, Charlotte, Philly, and I don't know. I'm still holding out hope for November dates because people keep telling me that there's going to be Asheville and there's going to be SPAC and there's all these other things that are supposedly, but I'm fine with my 3 and then Goosemas because I booked my Goosemas hotel yesterday for where I think Goosemas is.
Top secret.
Yeah, not going to say it because I don't want any more hotels to get booked up. It was already starting to jump, but anyways. That's 5.
Yeah,
That's enough.
we're gonna cut that from the episode.
Yeah, no, the rumor reel is spinning. I also have my hotel, but no, 5 is a lot. They're doing your neighborhood, so like that's really
Yeah.
awesome. I'm very jealous. If you can get over to the Louisville shows, do that.
That's what I'm doing.
I
I
want to
think
do
he
those
is,
so
yeah.
badly. I have
I'm
family
doing
there.
the 2 Louisville. And I'm originally from Atlanta, so it hurts me I can't make Atlanta Alpharetta work. Charlotte
Hurts
will be
me
cool.
too, bud.
But
But
yeah,
you have the Gorge as well. You'll be there.
I'll be at Gorge. Mike, you're not coming to Gorge, right?
No, I've done the Gorge enough for right now. When Goose does 3 nights there, like Dave does, or 2 nights or something, sign me up, because I do think the Gorge is the nicest amphitheater in all of the planet Earth. It's the nicest
Really?
venue on all of planet Earth. I mean, there's nothing. Taking that view in at the top with some chicken tenders, I mean, you're just like, your life will change.
I can't
The
wait for
chicken
my life to
tenders.
change. Please have me back on to talk about them at the
Yes,
Gorge.
please come back.
Yes.
That'd be amazing.
We're gonna have a big party after that show, I think, because I know we want to have Garrett on too. It's gonna be his 100th DMB.
It's his 100th DMB and it's his birthday, which is why I'm going.
Oh, amazing.
Fucking sick.
The world is so small.
Yeah, the 2 of us are going together. He's my best friend.
I love that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Everyone is connected. I love it.
It's this community, as I said.
Yeah.
It is so special. There's
It's so
nothing
true.
else. And we've worked so hard to like make this, like to foster it, to nurture it, to bring as many people in with good vibes as possible. I'll say it a million times. We are so freaking lucky to have the people that we have in this community because of this band. And not just Goose, but the jam band scene as a whole is just a really cool space to exist and to be able to like be a part of. Something I didn't know existed until the last couple of years of my life, and it's really changed everything.
It's the best. I mean, Mike and I have been in it, lurking for a while, having our group of friends, and it's like very strange, like putting ourselves out in a public forum like this now, but it's the best. So sift through the shitty people and you find the great people, and it makes it all worth it, you know?
Well, that's one of the things that's really cool about this community too, is it's like self-policing. Like, you have bad vibes, people are gonna make sure you're not welcomed back.
Yep.
I think it does a really good job of doing that and making sure like we keep our space safe for us, and the vibes stay positive, and we have the right, loving, amazing people around us. I will talk about this community forever. I could talk about it forever. It's literally why I have a podcast, is not to go through song by song. As fun as that is, and has been, chatting with you guys about this awesome run that just happened. It's the people here. It's the vibes. It's the community. I love it so much, and you all should join us. The Femme Flock is for everybody. You don't need to be a woman or an underrepresented voice. We need men to be a part of it. Like, you guys are you are so much of the community that you need to make the space for us and be inclusive. And it's all about that. It's most of my job is talking to men about how they can do better at shows. It's just, It's really great. And, most of the time people are really awesome and receptive about it. Mm-hmm. Again, a testament to like what we've been building and the kind of people that follow this band. It's really great.
Because people are the best.
I agree.
The best. And you said it earlier, we want to use our platform to promote inclusivity like that, and bringing voices up that aren't at the forefront. So we would always love to have anyone from the Femme Flock on anytime y'all want.
I'm sure Nikki would love to come on. She absolutely. And Leighton, our new intern. Or she's not new anymore. She's been here a couple months. And she wants to talk about the music and all the jams and everything pretty deep. So I'll definitely let them know. But as I said, the Femme Flock is a state of mind. Everyone, you guys are part of it. It's like, yeah, sure, we're the voices on the pod, but it's for everybody. It's bigger than that. It's not just me. I'm new here. Like, Nikki's on the pod because she saw Jerry. Like, I did not. This is new for me. I just, the people I've met, I can go to any show in the country and run into 30 people I know well. Like, that's so cool. That's why I'm here. Just for the vibes and the shenanigans and the goose mask and the leash and our silly monkey noodles. See me at a
Monkey
show.
noodles
I
are
have
so
goodies
clutch.
for you. Also, really unhinged stickers. You want something weird? I'll give you a weird sticker. But it's
Oh my
fun.
gosh, where's the Gyat one? I have that one somewhere here. It's like the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Give it time. Give it all you've got.
Yeah.
I can't take credit for that either. I usually just take people's funny ideas and I can execute. And actually, Garrett's a big help with the execution, helping me
Nice.
design silly
Let's go.
stickers. But no, my favorite's the Polyjammerous.
Ooh.
We're a Polyjammerous collective. We may have met at Goose, but New York is the jam band god's favorite. I get to see everyone who comes to town. Very lucky.
Oh yeah.
Polyjammerous. Oop.
I love
I'm
that.
not doing great.
No, you're doing great.
Amazing. I need one of those.
So you want to hit some rapid fire questions, Jess,
Let's
before we get you out
fucking
of
go.
here?
Make it hard.
Well, maybe a little bit of rapid fire. Maybe, I don't know. Where do you want to start with this, Mike?
Wait,
I'm
you
ready.
take the lead, man. Go ahead.
Oh, we covered
You
a little bit about the Femme flock.
probably covered a lot.
Yeah, just real quick, if you want to get into a quick spiel about like a little bit more, if you feel like you didn't cover.
Yeah, as I said, we're like a community-driven, a community-inspired polyjammerous collective and podcast. We really started with the podcast, but I've said it so much this time, and like I will continue to say it forever. This community is special, and we wanted to celebrate that. I've said it again. A lot of men in the community, a lot of men talking about the music, and what changed my life was the people I met. My best friends I met at a Goose show. I talk to them every single day. It's really special, and so we wanted to celebrate like the culture and the creativity and the artists and like everyone else behind the scenes, because there's always been women. And so yeah, we have our podcast. We've had some really cool episodes. Our last one was with Nico Suave. She sat in with Goose at Goosemas last year. She's in Nico Suave in the Mothership with Cotter. Listen to that episode, you get some fun Cotter lore. And she's also just freaking hilarious and so talented. We've had Karina Reichman on, we've had Andy Frasco on, but we also have just had like normal people in the scene. And our next episode that will be coming out in July is about the next generation of jam fans and Gen Z and how they got into it. Anyone who wants to come on is welcome to. It's about the community. If you have a story to share, come talk to us. We have a website, thefemmeflock.com. Femme is Femme, not Fem. People get confused. It's also not Femi. It's Femme. We're inclusive. We try and say the word women instead of females because women is more of an inclusive term. But really just like we just want to have fun and dance and wear glitter, and like the ways you can support us is doing just that. It's going to shows and like hugging your friends and not being a dick and giving people space, like the space to dance and like physically, but also like the space to be weird and not judging them. And like, yeah, sharing a song, sharing a dance, sharing a monkey noodle, like it's all just so important to keep this community inclusive and vibrant. And that's what we're trying to do. So we're growing. You can reach out on our website if you want to get involved. There's many ways you can be involved. We're starting a street team if you want me to send you stickers to hand out and talk to people. We participate at some of the flow downs. You can listen to our podcast. You can just follow us on Instagram at the Femme Flock. We have a TikTok. As I mentioned, Carly's our newest addition to the Femme Flock. She's helping us with our social media. If you have something you want to add, bring it to us. We love ideas. We love silliness. If there's something you want to do and collaborate on, like we welcome that. If you're going solo to a show, hit us up. I've had many people hit me up being like, hey, I'm a girl going alone, and I will reach out to my network and connect you with someone to go to a show with. Everyone is super friendly. It's like my passion project, aside from the Femme Flock, my little side interest is the male loneliness epidemic. And we could go on a tangent about this for a very long time. But one of the reasons I love the jam band scene is because you get to see men who, like, in America, men are having a crisis. And, like, we don't need to go into it too much, but you can Google the male loneliness epidemic in your own time. And there's an issue happening. And a lot of the social problems we have today come from that. And jam bands allow men to, like, have friends and community and dance and show emotion in a way that's, like, socially acceptable for them. And it's so important for the culture, for everything, like for men, for women. I really it's one of the reasons I love being here is like watching a man freak out at a jam and then hug his friend next to him. Like that gets me hyped, which is really weird, but like it's true.
It's really
And so
sweet.
yeah, we're not just for women, we're for everybody. Follow us on the socials, as I said, listen to the pod, get involved, fill in our forms if you want to join the street team or volunteer with us. If you want to donate too, we have a Venmo, you can hit us up. If you donate, I'll send you stickers. But we're really just trying to show up as ourselves and make space for us and have fun and dance to the music. So thank you to the bands who let us do that, and thank you to you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it. And I know that we're a little off leash here, but that's the brand.
No,
So there's a lot more of this on my podcast if you hit it up. But we do take the podcast pretty seriously, as you can imagine, because we've had some cool guests on. And just what is it like to be the only woman in a room? Like, you know, are you curious? Listen to us. We'll talk about it. Also, like fun stuff like fashion and what do you wear to a show? I care a lot about what I wear to a show. Men don't, but also like merch too. And who's designing the merch? Are there women like designing merch? Like there's so many aspects that I care about, that we care about. So yeah, I could ramble on for eternity, but it's really important to me and to others, and I think to this community. So get involved, join us. Thanks.
Yes. Join the Femme flock. Your socials are on point lately, and your latest episodes have been fantastic. I need to catch up on the last few, if I'm being honest. But I haven't listened to the latest Nico, but I did listen to Karina recently, and that was just like the greatest thing ever. She's the best, and y'all did a great job. And one other one I loved, this was a little further back, was the cacao interview. That was sweet.
I did my first cacao ceremony with them at Fiddler's. That was also a really emotional moment. But they're lovely. You should definitely join a cacao ceremony if you haven't. Hannah and Kate go on tour with the band and do cacao with them before they go on every night. So that's really cool. Yeah, we've done some cool stuff. We had Western Sun on, Megan Gliona from Helping Friendly Pod, and the whole Fish Network. That was one of actually my favorite episodes.
That was the last one too. So good.
That was a special one. She called me after and said that was the first time she's ever been in a room of just women talking about jam bands. And like, that's really cool. And like, we should change that. So if you want to talk about jam bands, like come talk to me. I'm really easy to talk to, although I talk a lot.
Yeah, that's why we have podcasts, right?
Right. Never thought I'd start a podcast. Never thought I'd be on a podcast. But you know, the world works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anything else you want to know? Something unhinged?
Well, we're running long, so let's get into this rapid fire section so we can get you out of here, back to your real life, because we could talk jam bands for hours, to your point. So how about you take it off with the first one here, Mike?
Yeah, so and you may have said this, so if so, I apologize, but how did you become a Goose fan?
I found him on Reddit. Someone posted the So Ready music video in the r/listen to this mid-COVID. It was a dark time. And it was like 3 a.m, and I watched the video, and I was like, this is fun. I can dance to this. And then I was hooked.
Amazing.
Boom. Thank you. Thank you to whoever did that. You changed my life.
And what is your favorite Goose song?
Oh, it depends on the day. Anything I can dance to. Yeah. Favorite, that's so much pressure. I love SOS. I love Hot Tea. I love Empress. Anything with high vibes and dancey.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
And then favorite Goose show or any show if it's not Goose.
I already said it. Worcester Halloween 2021, where they did such a hot take. Everyone's like, what's wrong with you? I think it was just the vibes around. It was the band was dressed like Austin Powers. They played a bunch of covers for the first time that some of them stuck around and some of them have disappeared lately. But, you know, it was just the memories from that night, especially the Just the Two of Us with the Dr. Evil rap. Please bring that back.
The Dr. Evil cap is legendary on Rick. Just the funniest shit ever.
Have you guys seen my Dr. Evil sticker?
No, but I need to.
This got to the band. This is bad. Hold on.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Off leash.
Yeah. This is bad. This is off leash. Oh, I handed one to Rick's mom. I handed one to Rick. It's fine.
Oh, it's fine. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It says "Take it, Dr. Evil."
Yeah.
That's what said in the ERA. Which, where's my ERA? I want another one. Like, come on, that's been gone for a while. They did it like once this
Yes.
tour.
Missing in Action 2025.
Take it,
That is a
Dr. Evil.
phenomenal sticker.
All right, next question.
Oh gosh, where are we at? What's your favorite jam all time?
Like, anyone I can dance to. I don't know.
There you go.
Good answer.
I'm a vibes girl. I am not a sit here and dissect the music girl. I can probably think of
Or
no.
better
It's been
yet,
a
more
long
generic. Like, what's your favorite song that jams that you feel like you can dance to the most?
Big Modern, probably, right, at least right now. Also, like Fish in the Sea, we were talking about that earlier. Like, that song gets me moving. I know it's a cover, but like, it's a Goose song.
They've made it theirs at this point, I feel like.
They really have.
And then favorite concert venue.
Ooh. Good question. I'm not sure. I really loved going to the Amp this year for Goose. That was really cool. In St. Augustine. It was my first time there. And I did both nights, and that was like just a really sick experience. I have a bucket list venue that I'll actually be hitting this summer that I'm really excited about, and I know it's going to be my favorite. We can talk about that. So my parents live in Wyoming in the summers, and at the top of one of the ski mountains, Snow King, they put in a new venue last year, maybe 2 years ago now. So it's at the top of like the ski mountain in town, and you have to take the gondola up to the venue, and it overlooks the whole valley in Jackson Hole and the ski mountain, like the actual Jackson Hole ski mountain. And I'm going to be seeing Marcus King there in a few weeks.
Wow.
Not because I'm a fan, but because I want to go to the venue. And it is a dream for Goose to play there. I cannot wait to see the venue in person. I grew up going to Wyoming. I'm repping the Mangy Moose right now. But I am so excited to get to this venue. It's called the Snow King Mountain Concerts. I'll take pictures. It's if you like mountains and sunsets, and the sun sets right behind the Tetons, and you overlook all of the Tetons, and it's breathtaking. So it's not my favorite yet, but it will be.
That's totally fair.
Like, you're having like pretty venue summer. It sounds like that in the Gorge. Like, what a run!
Yeah, other than that, I love Westville. I love the Cap. I love the Cap. I mean, it's not outside. It's just like I can see because the floor is slanted and I'm really short. I've never seen a bad show at the Capitol Theater.
Great answers. Is there a venue concession or food that is your go-to when you hit a show that you like have to have?
I don't usually eat at shows because I do other things, but water. I'm also not a drinker, so I'm a big water girl. I always have lollipops on me too. I had a bag of about 200 lollipops at MSG, so I bring my own concessions. Lollipops saved so many people's lives on the floor at MSG. I was like throwing them out to people. Someone shipped me last week 400 lollipops because in Cabo, I had mine, and anyone who walked by me, I stuck it in their mouth. So I have been reprimanded, and someone just like one of my friends shipped me 400 lollipops. So they came with me to Westville and MSG because we don't need to spread the WOOC flu. Although I haven't gotten sick yet. Knock on wood.
Me either. Knock on wood. Yeah, don't jinx us.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I'm a big chicken tenders girl. I love a good chicken finger.
Boom. I mean, water is a great answer. Honestly, that should be the answer more often.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then, do you have a big Chase song?
So my last Chase was Lead the Way, which I got during Cotter's first Cap run. That was the last like original I hadn't seen. And my middle name is Sadie. So it was my last Goose song. So I'm not chasing any originals right now. I would love to see a Cross-Eyed. I don't think it's coming. And I would love to see another Just the Two of Us, as I mentioned.
Yep.
But other than that, Make Me Dance.
There you go. Consistent.
Yeah, speaking of dancing, I'm sure this is that part of that answer, but what's the first album you can remember buying, and when was it?
Ever? I didn't buy it, but my first like music memory, like album memory, was "Songs About Jane" from Maroon 5. My mom had it in the house, and it is a 10 out of 10 no skip album. Like, they got so corporate and sold out, but back in the day, 10 out of 10 album before they became poppy sellouts. My mom used to have that on playing all the time. It's my like first music memories is listening to that all the way through. Great album.
Yeah.
I
agree. That was when they were good.
Right?
They were great
too. But then by the third album, they were
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever actually purchased an album.
Wow.
You're making me feel old. Like, making me feel weird.
Yeah. I used LimeWire back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Us too.
But well, of course, I did that too.
We got so many viruses. It's so sick.
Yeah, and then Spotify, you know.
Well, how about that Gin and Juice by Fish that everyone had from LimeWire? That wasn't actually fish, but everyone thought it was fish. Remember that, Mike?
I do. There was a similar thing with a bunch of other songs, like I think Snoop Dogg and something else too. But anyways, getting on a tangent here.
Sorry.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
I don't sing.
She doesn't sing. Okay.
It's for everyone's benefit. Yeah, okay. No.
All right. Okay. So what band or artist is on your bucket list?
Okay, I just saw Beyonce. That was the biggest deal of my life. Fuck Goose Tour. Beyonce is where it's at. I did ask Cotter if I could come on stage when the band plays Beyonce for the first time. He looked at me like I had 3 heads, but it's fine. I had been waiting for MetLife for so long, and I had my outfit picked out for so long, and then it rained.
Oh.
But it was still great, and it was the best day ever. I'm very much a pop girly when I'm not at Goose shows or other jam bands. That was my big one. I did see her. I did the thing.
You did. You saw a good one because she apparently almost fell off her rig in Houston.
I saw that. Yeah, no, she had no issues when I was there. The big chase I have for an artist is I would love to see Miley Cyrus play. She doesn't really do like tours anymore. She doesn't do like arenas. She likes to do intimate things. And I really love her and her music. And I would love to see her perform.
Awesome. And then,
yeah.
I kind of like have gotten over us asking this question this way, but do you have a guilty pleasure artist, perhaps? Which I feel like there's not really even such a thing.
I love, like, they're not guilty pleasure. They're my pleasure. They're my pop girlies.
That's how I feel like it should be.
It's like Beyonce, Dua Lipa, Miley Cyrus. Like, I'm going to see Dua like 4 times this fall, hopefully. She had like 2 dates at MSG and then it kept selling out. So they kept adding dates. I don't have any tickets, but like catch me there every night.
Love it.
All right. This is the one that we need to actually amend this, Mike, from the doc, but I'll say it the way I think that we had it before. Would you rather fight 1 elephant-sized goose or 200 goose-sized elephants?
200 goose-sized elephants. I'm tiny.
Too easy. It's everyone picks the small elephants versus the big goose, which honestly,
I can't fight someone my size, much less an elephant-sized goose.
I can't fight a goose that's a goose size, so like I'm with you. Like goose are fierce.
Elephants are so nice.
Yeah.
They're so smart. We probably become friends.
And then which member of Goose would you trust the most to babysit for you, and which would you trust the least?
To babysit me or for me?
For you. If you had a kid, which member of Goose are you saying, hey, please babysit my kid? And which one are you like, oh no, you're definitely not babysitting?
That is such a good question. Oh my God, I'm going to offend everybody. Okay, I think Peter would probably be the best babysitter. Although Cotter would be really fun.
Yeah.
Cotter would be like the most fun babysitter. Mm-hmm. Peter would probably be the most responsible. Okay. I would never let Rick or Trevor anywhere near my children.
Oh
Unless
man, that's getting clipped.
It's fine. Unless we had the kids together.
We are
These
off
are my
leash.
favorite
We are off
answers
leash.
ever.
Keep it in. We're off leash. Rick has
Oh
been
my
leashed.
god.
Oh,
Rick is fully aware of the leash. He wasn't happy about it.
Oh my god.
But
I feel like we should end there, honestly. That's the best answer we're going to get. This next question is lame.
Yeah.
Let's go. Hit me.
All right. How many geese do you think are in the New York City metropolitan area right now? Right now.
Too many.
8:55 p.m.
Too many. Get out. We don't like you. And then actual geese, Goose's geese. Peter's here somewhere.
There you go.
Actual geese. There you go.
Yeah, Rick and Trevor are somewhere in Connecticut, probably.
So 3.
3 and then some honkers.
Fair enough.
Oh gosh.
Well, I think that's all that we had. So if there's anything that you want to plug or anything that you didn't get to, like, feel free. The floor is yours.
No, listen to the Femme Flock.
There you go.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram or TikTok, or stop me at a show. Give me a hug. That's it. I think I said my piece multiple times, but I guess really what I want to say is thank you to both of you. This was really fun. I messaged Alex last week and I was like, I'm coming on to talk.
We love it.
Yeah.
This energy is
love it.
amazing. I'm definitely going to give you
Yeah.
a hug when I see you at a show finally. So,
Hell yeah.
yeah, I'm here for this
Do it.
goose energy. It's awesome.
Big goose energy, always.
Big goose energy, always. And my girlfriend would love the glitter. I mean, you would be best friends with her.
I love it. I'm best friends with everybody. Like, seriously, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm sure the other girlies would love to come on too. This was really fun.
We need to have a Femme Flock official episode, like everyone.
Yes.
Let's do it, and let's collab on some stuff.
Yeah, crossover.
We have a lot coming down. Yeah, I would love that.
All right. I think we need to put a bow on this. We're all delirious here, like recording into the night. All right. Let's just say thanks for coming on, Jess. It was an awesome episode. Really appreciate anyone who listened this long, and hope you have an amazing day. And check us out, Slow Ready Pod, everywhere that you're at, and take care, y'all.
Thank you so much. Have an off-leash summer.